Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good morning for me, and good evening to everybody else. We are back for another Savage Tide conversion. So happy to have everybody here that is here. Just having some coffee to start the day, and just sort of enjoying my Monday morning. So, for people that this is their first time catching the stream, I'm converting the old Savage Tide adventure path from the Dungeon magazines back in 2006. This started, and then 2007 it finished up, kind of with the death of 3.5. So I guess maybe death is a bit grim to go with for third 3.5, but 3.5 ended, and the Paizo run of Dungeon magazines ended. And the idea of adventure paths got ported over to their Paizo's Game Mastery line, which became the Pathfinder line, which then became the Pathfinder role-playing system, which now we're at Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So in this weird kind of snake devouring its own tail, Ouroboros sort of thing, we are essentially just feeding the old original adventure path back into 2nd Edition now. So before we really get started, I want to go over what we did at the last two streams. Well, I'll go over the last stream. Essentially, we did one section of the adventure. Either I got really distracted. I did not. I went back to watch some of the footage, and I was like, oh boy, I'm a distracted person. Either I got very distracted, or it was just harder than it looked to convert under Parrot Island. Actually, I know the answer here. We had a lot of fun stuff to convert. So, Parrot Island. I'll do a full recap later of the story, but essentially the players get trapped beneath this smuggler's island by the villain of our tale, Vanthus Vanderborn. And man, we've only kind of been dancing around the outline of Vanthus, and I can't wait to get into him fully. Sadly, we're not fully getting into him in Adventure 1. Anyway, trapped under this smuggler's island. A few things we did. We had to solve the problem of getting out of Smuggler's Island. Because when you're trapped under there, a massive trapdoor is placed over these smuggler's tunnels, and boulders are pushed over it. And in the original module, the way to get out was finding an elemental gem that summoned an earth elemental that would then earth glide up through the rock and push the boulders off, which is a fun way to solve a problem. It's a little esoteric. I think that players would have to have some sort of knowledge of things going in. The problem is in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, that is a 10th level consumable item that sells for about 100 gold. So if you gave that to my group at level 1, they would absolutely be like, I'm sorry, this sells for how much? Oh, we'll find another way out of here. We will die before we give up 100 gold at level 1. At least my group. I don't know. So we solved it. Simeon, or Bees, came in and said, oh, what about using a feather token, specifically a tree feather token, and that would let you essentially plant a tree at the bottom of this hole the players climb down, and it would grow up 60 feet and boom, knock the trapdoor open and knock off the boulders, which I thought was very, very clever. Sorry, I'm looking for... Oh, wait, I guess I wrote it down with the treasure list. But, so yeah, it's a good solution. It still gives us that weird out-of-the-box way of using items, which, we'll talk. We'll talk about 3.5 design a lot, but one of the big things they did way back when was magic items could be used very loosey-goosey. They were very, and also in these modules were very ever-present. So you would see things like, in Pathfinder, now we see, everyone's got, ever-burning torch and little things like this. But there were, little quality-of-life things where, nobles would walk around with hats of disguises that would just sort of make them look pretty. These powerful items were used for everyday routine problem-solving sorts of things. It was a very magic-filled world. Not that second edition PF2, that Pathfinder second edition doesn't have that. Just that it's a little less... Items are more for a purpose in combat. They have less purpose outside. I shouldn't say that. You see it more often in adventures that when you get treasure, that's going to be used for your character for character fun things. It's very hard to describe. It's a very tricky one to describe this feeling of the moving around between magic items between then and now. But regardless, we're going to kind of bring that back with using the tree feather token in that regard. I changed a few things myself with these green bits. I mentioned on stream. Let's see if I can find it real fast. Where is the map? So we've got a map of these pirate tunnels, these smugglers' tunnels. And if we zoom in here, we can look. We've got all these empty rooms that serve no purpose. The players start here at P1. They'll go out here. And generally, if they decided to go right, they're dead-ending themselves to, not very interesting times. However, and the original module calls this out. I sometimes you'll hear me say module or adventure. Module's very, very old parlance for that. Adventure's fine. I like module. I don't know. I feel weird saying it now when I have friends that ask me what the hell I'm talking about. All right. So it's calls out. The eastern tunnels consist of several rooms, once used as a barracks, and desperate characters who scavenge these rooms can find supplies. So, since we have introduced a swarm and some more difficult undead into this dungeon, what I've done is I made just a little, hey, players who spend 10 minutes searching, no check needed, they'll just find something from this list, okay? 4 days of dried rations. On the off chance that the players do actually spend time trapped down here, sure, that keeps them going. 2 torches, in case they came down without preparation for darkness. 2 lesser bottled lightnings, which will help out with the swarm. Minor healing potion, always helpful. And a lesser ghost charge, because that'll give us a little edge. Not a big edge, a little edge against the undead. Yeah. By the way, so healing potions, depending on the game I'm in, seem to... Boy, is my lighting kind of weird right now? Anyway. I want to change the lights now. Healing potions, depending on the game I'm in, either see a lot of play or no play at all. And a lot of it has to do with level, I think. At low levels, someone trained in medicine immediately is just oh, yeah, we'll just take the time. I'll just medicine everybody up and we're just going to go. It's not a problem. 2d8 hit points to everybody after 40 minutes of work, no problem. But I have a Fist of the Ruby Phoenix tournament game. Everyone's level 11. And while we do have a master level medic, it's still hey, we got to keep things snappy. Just chug a few potions between and let's keep going. So I thought that was kind of interesting. As somebody who sat down with potions a lot in second edition as a pain point for me. I don't know if anybody else has any experience with healing potions in their groups. I only have so many groups and so much kind of data to pull from. I don't know. I don't hear about it a lot. Just a thought from me. Okay, let's see. Any other big changes I've made? Big changes we made. The halls, these smugglers' tunnels, were once filled with zombies. 9 zombies, to be exact. Which, in 3.5, is a fine design choice. The players are just going to go and fight through the zombies, no problem, wears down the resources, but that's not the point, who cares? That is the point. That is, the combat itself is not the point. But, in second edition, that's going to get repetitive and boring, and even what I've come up with, I'm not 100% sure isn't a little repetitive. So, let's take a look. What we did was we replaced the 9 zombies with 6 zombie shamblers, level of -1, 4 ghouls, level 1, and the Horexen, which has taken the place of the Hukuva. So yeah, and there's a few ways to mix and match them. You could do some low encounters like 3 zombie shamblers, a zombie shambler played with a ghoul, 2 ghouls, etc. Just like in the original module, there are a few ways to kind of use these encounters. We want players to explore the dungeons, but we want it to feel tense and not safe to open every door. I think there is even a little bit to use these encounters to keep players from just sitting in one spot and resting the whole time. So they just fight off 2 ghouls. All right, let's bandage up. Let's rest up. Those medicine checks start coming out, and suddenly, oh god, here comes 3 zombies staggering through. A low encounter, but one that makes them feel like this place is dangerous. This is not safe, and there's a reason Vanthus sealed us down here. So that's okay. Made some little note changes here. We've got our Horexen, who's got his rapier, his defiled holy symbol of Alita Mara, which is the god of rogues, and also, I want to say storytelling. It's a very strange one. Little stuff. Here's our crab swarm that we made together. And we've got sea urchin poison. The players can fall into sea urchins if they slip. We're going to need to do a full rewrite of Penkus, because Penkus is another fellow that Vanthus trapped down here. And Penkus originally dies to Hukuva Blight. Now, the Horexen is nearly a 1-to-1 port of the Hukuva. Nearly. Like, thematically, it's all there. It doesn't have all the same spells, and it doesn't have that Hukuva Blight. So Penkus dying to a disease that the Horexen does not have doesn't really work. I wrote, and stream gets a little dark here for a second. I wrote here that he would instead have ghoul fever, but the problem is, if you die with ghoul fever, you turn into a ghoul. So we don't want Penkus to be coming back. We don't want to make another fight here. I don't know the specifics of ghoul fever, and I could go and look back into like first edition AD&D, see how the rules are for this. But could he escape this ghoul fate by unaliving himself? Dark route to go. But this adventure path is going to be dark. This is old edgy Paizo, that 2006, where it was like, we could get away with anything. Humor is pushing the envelope. I mean, this wasn't humor, but, we're going to have some bits where we might question what to do. Matter of fact, I did see a bit coming up potentially in this stream today that's going to go, I'm probably going to leave it in as is, but modern day sensibilities might change things a bit. All right, then. Players will escape the dungeon however they wish. There is an option to swim out, which could be quite difficult, I think. And then there's the option to do the whole tree blowing the roof off the joint, which is cool, and a fun little story beat that I think is really fun. I think everybody's going to really like that one around the table. And then Lavinia Vanderborn, Vanthus' sister, owner of 2 exploded parents, 1 exploded ship, 1 detained ship, and an empty vault of treasure. And also the patron of the players says, oh my god, my brother's killed somebody, and he's hanging out with a bunch of thieves. Please get him back. Do what you gotta do. If you gotta kill him, you gotta kill him. I don't want to be that person. Hey, I don't want to kill my brother, but hey, he's killed some people. And apparently this isn't the first time. So it's clear that Lavinia is not all in on her brother anymore. This is Adventure 1. We're going to see, again, for those who haven't seen the stream, Lavinia and Vanthus, these 2 Vanderborns, are not our throwaway NPCs that you might see in Book 1 of many adventure paths. These are NPCs that are going to be with us from the start of the game to the very end. I know for a fact that Vanthus appears in the final adventure of this AP. And a lot of you may be asking the same question I did when I was a kid. What happens if the players kill Vanthus before? Trust me, there is an answer for that. And man, all of these magazines, You can find them. You can buy them. You can get them somewhere. But this does mean you can read this whole story without having to listen to me ramble on in the worst ASMR conversion stream ever. Because that's what I'm billing myself as now. I'm billing myself as the ASMR conversion stream. Wonder how many, if I get more viewers who are typing into Twitch, ASMR, Pathfinder, 2nd edition, guy rants for 4 hours about old mechanics. Anyway, we get this fun encounter. I didn't finish putting the polishing, my little polishing glaze over everything. So we did have a few more things that we did. Yes, we have a fun encounter that we put together. A bunch of thieves using poison from rooftop. What we're going to do today is actually, I've got my little notes here. Boop, here we go. A to-do list for today's for our conversion. Because we're going to have some fleeing thieves in part 5 that are going to be trying to lure the players back to the guild house's worst entrance. Essentially, there's a trap set up for the players, and every time the thieves interact with the players, they're going to try and flee to this entrance. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a chase for that. We're going to use the chase mechanics. It'll be fun introduction, inclusion into the adventure. We also have a trick played by an illusionist. We talked about this in the last stream. This guy runs a taxidermy shop, and it's a front for the Thieves Guild. And originally, as written in the module, when players come, he goes, and he creates an illusory scene where all the taxidermy animals start making noise and look like they're coming to life, which is really cool. Except that spell is not available to him in 2nd edition. Instead, however, we can create a hazard that is triggered by him turning invisible that will kind of replicate the same thing. We don't have to do any of this summon monster shenanigans to kind of keep players on edge. It can just be the distraction that it was before to give Nemian Roblox his chance to escape. Cool. And the next thing I want to do is we are going to be we're going to be converting the Lotus Dragons guild headquarters. Now, a lot of these, I took notes here. Look how up to date I am. I'm doing all this stream stuff and I just a piece of paper. 1, 2, 3, we have 5 rooms that use the same exact stats for our thieves. And there's 22 thieves. Now, I don't know about you. If I fight one guy, and I'm like, cool, that was a good encounter, I like the way they all meshed together, and then I open the door to the next room, and it's the same encounter, I'm not having a good time. I'm just kind of going through the motions to get through. What did I do last time to beat these guys? Yeah, okay, I'm going to do that again. Why am I rolling dice? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? What story does this tell? And dungeons, I've heard this said a lot, that dungeons don't have story to tell. Patently untrue. But these older dungeons, and we're gonna take a look at the history of dungeons a little. Generally, their role was to wear down the player. We've talked about this. They wearing down the groups, exhausting their resources, exhausting these once a day sort of encounter abilities, forcing them to retreat so that the thieves could regroup. We kind of don't have that anymore. So we want our thieves to instead tell a story, and we want to provide interesting encounters for players to interact with. And trust me, that said, there are still some very interesting encounters here. There's some stuff that to this day, if I were to go back to America, for a fact, I know my players would bring up this exact game, because there are some set pieces here that 15 years on, people remember. Which is cool. That's kind of why I want to convert this. Okay, so that's my quick review of what we did and what we're going to do. But now what I want to do, you may see, the canny-eyed of you, notice I have a tab up here that says magazines. Okay? I'm gonna put the rest of this into another tab so everything doesn't get too... Convert. I put covert. You know what? It's a covert tab now. See, what we're going to do here, we're going to look at these magazines. Whoo! Whoo! All right. I don't want to make that noise ever again. All right. So, who here, raise your hand if you remember the Dragon magazine. Okay? Here it was originally called The Dragon in illegible font, made of snakes. But it was then later changed to just Dragon magazine. This was put out by, I believe, TSR originally. I'm going to make sure. Yes. I believe it was originally put out by TSR. Essentially as a vehicle to advertise their game. Which is kind of smart and clever, especially given what it went on to become. And Dragon Magazine existed beyond being an advertising space for TSR to just review games, talk about games, add in more material to your games. And let me tell you, I played some AD&D. I don't know D&D First Edition. I can talk Thaco. I could talk these encounter charts. But a lot of this stuff, and you'll see that we've got fiction here, which stayed a mainstay for Dragon Magazine, I think until the Paizo years, maybe even after. They put in entire rule sets that you might not get anywhere else. This also stayed a mainstay with Dragon Magazine, having very specific, you can only find this in Dragon Magazine sort of ideas. So yeah, Dragon Magazine was huge. Look at this primordial bullet, stuck around ever since the very first days. I like to think that the artwork's gotten a little bit better. But I say that. I'm not making fun of this art. I have a very strong nostalgia for this art. But yeah, this was advertising, is what it was. Yeah. So that's Dragon Magazine. Why we're going to talk about Dragon Magazine? We're going to be looking at sort of the movement between editions. We're going to see when Dragon Magazine... I was looking for the movement from first edition to second edition, but I couldn't find it. I didn't take too long to look. I have not deep delved these magazines. What we are going to look at is the movement when AD&D switched over to 3rd edition, and when 3rd edition switched over to 3.5. And we're going to take a brief stopover at 3.5 to 4th edition, and of course the dungeon magazines. We're talking about this so that we get an idea of where the general community was in terms of mindset when they played these games. Because if you were a second or first edition D&D player, you did not care that it was like, okay, all these numbers had to be balanced, everything had to be right, this is the kind of feeling we want to evoke from our encounter. No, it was just guys in the room, hit the guys, move on. The game was different. So, let's move on. Here we go. We are firmly in second. We are at the end, the tail end of AD&D combat or content. This is, if you see it here, Countdown to 3rd edition. In this banner, look at them highlighting Barbarians and Rangers. They're coming back, everybody. They were so excited. D&D exclusive. They statted out Tiamat and Bahamut. Tiamat, Bahamut. I'm always going to get those names wrong. I'm going to pronounce them wrong. Old games. I love them. So what I want to really look at, actually... Does this take anybody back, by the way? Is it just me looking through these old ads? Dragon still remained a place for advertisements to live. If ever it wasn't that, it wasn't Dragon Magazine. I hate to say it. Okay, so first off, 3rd edition is coming out. People are still playing D&D 2nd edition. This is June 2000. The Twin Towers are still standing. All right, so right away... we have somebody, like many members of this game community, I like to know why there's so many drastic changes being made in 3rd edition. This is probably my favorite. This is why I picked out this magazine. This is my favorite. Because he accurately predicts 3rd edition, just not in the way that I think he believed he did. So this guy played in the 3rd edition playtest. In New Jersey, hey! He says, I played in the playtest. I was positive that I didn't want to play in 3rd edition after this. Okay? And the information revealed in Dragon Magazine only added to this feeling. Whoa. Coming from 2023, hearing this, when 3rd edition got so much praise, you have to be like, whoa, what? You thought AD&D was better? I got a story for that. All right, glad to see the return of the Barbarian. Cool, of course. Here we go. But why change the classes so much? Why allow multi-classing to everyone? I saw a monk assassin in the magazine. Here's where he gets it right. From my perspective, 3rd edition will turn the D&D game over to the munchkins and power gamers, replacing tales of overcoming adversity through ingenuity and role-playing with the tales of who killed the most gods. Now I say, he got it right. He didn't exactly. What I mean to say is that this is the mindset change. 3rd edition gave you that ability to tweak your character out and become insanely powerful by playing within the rule set, by playing with those rules. 2nd edition, AD&D, was definitely much more problem-solving, puzzle-solving. There weren't like, oh, I've got this power, and thus together they make this. It also made a problem for game design because now you had so much you had to contend with. You could write the most perfect adventure in the world, but then suddenly here comes a build that you never considered because somebody did some multi-classing shenanigans. They took that level 1 dip. Yeah, munchkining was fun. So many problems with it. I appreciate a good munchkin. I bring it to my table all the time. But yeah, especially design-wise, it made a problem. I think there even in other games, like I think there's, if anyone's read the All Guardsmen for Aether, yeah, the All Guardsmen party that they just were like, oh, well, we have thermal grenades, we'll just throw them in the holes and blow everything up, and we don't have to worry about things. My story, being a young child of 13 years, I'm sorry, not 13 years ago, 23 years ago. So I was 11, about 11 or 12. I was so excited for 3rd edition. I was counting down the days. I had just gotten into AD&D, and I couldn't find a lot of material for it as a child. So I knew where to go to get my 3rd edition Player's Handbook, because they came out separately. 1 month was Player's Handbook, next month Dungeon Master's Guide, and 3rd month was Monster Manual, which is insane to think about, because you'd get a book and go, boy, I can't wait to play this when I get the other 2 books. You especially needed that Monster Manual. Showed up to get my 3rd edition Player's Handbook, and there was a guy standing outside of the comic book store, shouting, "How dare you buy this game? This is just Diablo for role players." Which, as a kid who loved Diablo, I was like, this is awesome. Yes, that's exactly what I want. I want to go into the dungeon, I want to hack and slash and kill things and be done. But that was sort of the prevailing idea, was that 3rd edition was a dumbing down, that it was a very bad system, that it reduced all role-playing across the board. Tell me if you've heard that before. Like, I think we hear that between every edition change. The game is dumbed down. The game, it's gotten rid of what made it good. I'm going to keep playing this. That's fine. I think that's okay. People are going to feel that way. But I want to keep that in mind when we convert stuff, because this is the thought process going in. I got this magazine out. In particular, it's the last AD&D magazine of Dragon. Boy, fun that they decided to call their free game inside, which I remember having, Abandoned Ship. Also, you may notice this one. This is the official artwork that they went with for the Savage Tide Player's Guide. I'm going to double check. I think this is Todd Lockwood. And if it is, I'll talk a bit about that. Who is our artist? Todd Lockwood. Boom. Yes. That is Art Nerd. Todd Lockwood. If you do not know Todd Lockwood, Google him. Give him a look. Rest in peace. That man paved the way for fantasy artwork, modern fantasy artwork. I mean, we've got Frank Frazetta, of course, but He gave us the 3rd edition design for dragons and was the dragon guy. Beautiful artwork. I mean, look at this. Beautiful. Lot of sfumato. And he passed, I think, when I was in maybe college or high school. So very sad. But yeah, you can see, besides all these cool old ones, 3rd edition, people are talking, people in the forum are over-analyzing general complaints about AD&D, okay? Talking about things that weapons aren't realistic, that a real weapon would do more damage. Many seem to be too wrapped up in the details of their hack, slash, and spells, rather than the fantasy role-playing. I say this because I've had these conversations on forums where people are saying, well, obviously the katana would do more damage because it was folded over several times, and it's just... it's been around. Since the dawn of time, since the dawn of role-playing games, people have been complaining about little things. And complaining about complaining. To all the gamers complaining about 3rd edition, I say give it a chance. Because, yeah, this is the time people are complaining about 3rd edition. Alright, going on. Boom! Next magazine, 1st issue of 3rd edition. And here were those beautiful books. On sale everywhere. On sale September. On sale October. Why would you release your books like this? Because you were a small company. Well, Wizards was not small. But because role-playing was not as big as it is now. And it's still not big. Going from Todd Lockwood to this upsets me. I love Todd Lockwood. I do not enjoy this artwork. I don't know who drew it, but whatever. What I wanted to look at here. Oh my god, did my brain turn off? It totally did. Oh, was the fact that it's 3rd edition and it's the first magazine for it. So what kind of content are you going to have for 3rd edition? As it turns out, still going through. We're on page 33. 37. Still going. Oh, here we go. Talking about the D20 core game mechanic. Page. Whoa, there's got to be a page number in the magazine. Well, 41 here. Now it's talking about the core mechanics, talking about the play testing, how that went. They still were just kind of grokking the system, and they didn't know really what to put in the magazine yet. Like, okay, 3rd edition's here. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it. Then eventually we got Paizo takes over in issue 299. And that's where I'm going to talk about Dungeon. Because somewhere along the way, Dragon went, wait a minute. Back here in Dragon, issue 1 of Dragon, every so often in these magazines, you would have old adventures. That makes sense. Hey, we got a magazine for people. We're putting all this content in it. Let's throw some adventures in. But then, was it a magazine for players, or was it a magazine for DMs to buy adventures? Well, I mean, the adventures wouldn't come up too often. But now we're getting a ton of submissions for adventures, and we can't just fill this player-facing material with, information for GMs that an adventure that a player might be in. So they eventually went and made the Dungeon Magazine. Now, Dungeon Magazine was absolutely just adventures. This is D&D. I don't think this is AD&D. I forget when this came out, but we can get all these sort of... You'll notice not a lot of stat blocks. Not a lot of big chunks of and this is the monster. Look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 rooms in one page. Not a lot of detail about tactics going in. Just very dry, non-mechanical. That's what's there. Whatever you see, then play around that. Okay, so that's sort of the design that we're looking at in the old days. So I'm jumping to the first Paizo dungeon. And what they did, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if Paizo got the rights to Dungeons & Dragon magazine because they weren't doing well financially. But I do know that they came up with a very clever idea to make money for the magazine. Here's our first little Paizo. Hey. They decided, why don't we link Dragon and Dungeon? Sort of put them back together, but now it's 2 separate magazines. Okay? So you buy Dragon, and you're like, oh, look at all this cool material in here. I don't think this is the best example, because this was, again, Paizo's first. We got Knights and Paladins as juxtaposed against Underdark Prison Riot, Digging Up the Dead, blah, 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 blah. I keep going to that one. So what they did is you would buy Dragon Magazine, have all this information for it, and they go, oh, by the way, if you're interested, there's a really cool adventure that's written over in Dungeon Magazine. There we go. And Dungeon Magazine that uses these rules very effectively. So they kind of did some brand merging, which is interesting because it started as a brand separation, player side material, DM side material. Another thing they did is they combined with Polyhedron to kind of save money. Here we go. This is good. Dungeon's first magazine, as written by Johnny Wilson. Is that right? I feel silly for not knowing this. First thing he does is talk about how he's saving money with his with the Paizo publishing, Dungeon Polyhedron. Here's the amount of money we're paying per page. Here's the color. Here's the pages. So what they're doing is, we're Paizo. We're coming in. We're changing things, but we're going to be doing it in an effective way to save money. I'm talking about dumb things at this point, but I really want you to stay with me. What we're seeing here, Paizo now has control of the Dungeon Magazine. And let's take a look. Where this Dungeon Magazine gave us all this information, very condensed, very dry, for 1st edition, 2nd edition games. Now we're in 3rd edition. And we have a lot. I mean, a lot. This is one encounter. This is opening the game, so that's really not fair. Look at these. We got these ghasts, varying hit points. Oh, 3rd edition. Oh, you spoil us, GMs, with making us work so hard. Treasure, blah, 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 blah. Look at these. Stats for doors, stats for traps, stats for... Oh, my God. Again, we don't really like that anymore. One of the things this did was it ate up page space. It ate up so much room writing out all of this stuff. So we have so much shorthand. The stat blocks became smaller and smaller and smaller so that we could fit more in. I'm saying this like I sat here and wrote this stuff. But it was, things were cut to save space. As well, it's also why it's like we made one stat block for one enemy, and that enemy is going to appear, I'm going to throw a number out there, 22 times in our final dungeon. Yeah. This is a blast from the past. Look at this handout. Oh my God. Oh, another Hukova. And there's that Hukova blight I was talking about. They're popular monsters. Anyway, so now Paizo's come in. We've got Dragon Magazine. We've got Dungeon Magazine. And we're going to combine them so we can make more money. Okay? What's the next logical way to go with this? We're going to just make it so you really have to buy both magazines. Which brings us to our first adventure path. Shackled City. Now, I read this and I couldn't find this again somewhere, so I'm going to look like an idiot if I'm wrong. I believe this is the brainchild of... I've forgotten his name. I know Chris Perkins was involved. So if you guys know Chris Perkins, I feel like you guys should know Chris Perkins. First off, he was the first adventure path. First adventure was written by Chris Perkins, and I don't love it. It's not my sort of game, but I know there are some real Shackled City fans. Look at this. This is like the 4th adventure I've seen like this where you have to go inside of a giant construct. How does this keep getting pitched and it keeps working? In Dungeon Magazine alone, I've seen like 4 of those. Oh my goodness. Remoraz. Alright, let's get to Life's Bazaar. Here we go. By Chris Perkins. No, they don't say it here. There is a hardcover of Shackled City. And you can see where the ideas for the adventure paths came from. So anyway, am I through where I want to be? Yeah. I brought this up because I just saw, there's the move to 3.5, and you can still see people complaining. Because that's all they do, our 3.5 update, woo! And I think they talk about like some of the pointlessness of 3.5 stuff. Look, racial benefits, big thing. Monsters as characters, that's a big one. Prestige classes, we're fixing these. I hope they don't get out of control. They do. Because originally, oh boy, I wish I could find it. I have it here somewhere. Anyway, oh yeah, here it is. I think it's like right here, exactly. Create your own prestige class, written by Monty Cook. Woo! Nothing could go wrong. This here is the design of 3rd edition. It's just going to be 2nd edition, but with better rules, was exactly what they thought. And they thought, well, I mean, if the rules are better, it's just going to be a more fun game. And then people realized, with better rules comes the ability to break those rules in more interesting ways. And prestige classes were huge in that. Talked for 30 minutes, and I haven't even gotten into any converting. Please don't hate me. All right. So, immediately 3.5 comes because they realized they made a huge mistake. All of these insane splat books that came out, thanks to the OGL in part, made for ridiculous game-breaking problems. 3.5 came back and they're like, okay, all right. Rangers are bad. Monks are bad. Monks were terrible, I think, in 3rd edition. Fighters had problems. Everybody had problems. We're just going to go back and refix everything. Bards need full reworks. And 3.5 was the fix. And they also realized people liked prestige classes. People liked player-facing content. They started filling out. I mean, this is where you get all this bloat, all these ridiculous things, which contributes to these dungeons ending up feeling constrictive in many ways, where there's so many, like, okay, you can't teleport, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Everything has to be accounted for because the players are going to do it. Absolutely. So 2nd edition has removed a lot. Oh, look, hey! This is why I get the image of Olidmara being not the greatest god. This is beating up a St. Cuthbert. Yeah, Cuthite. Local Guild of Thieves. Anyway. So we may, somewhere down the line, look at Shackled City another time. That's not what we're doing today. Good God! Good God. This is your level 1 dungeon? To further complicate things, it's a Metroidvania. Yeah, it's a Metroidvania because as you go through, you get a key that opens different doors, like the I door, the N door, the R door. Ow, Chris Perkins, why would you do this? So, that was the gold standard for 3rd edition. These big, complicated dungeons. Because it sort of still kept in line with D&D, AD&D, and these kind of fun puzzle-solving things. All right. I've talked way too much about these magazines. They are out there for you guys to find if you're ever interested. And we're going to be referencing the magazines throughout because they, like I said, Dungeon and Dragon magazine do go hand in hand, and they definitely do with this adventure path. What we're going to do today. I said we are going to be doing... Oh, yes, some conversion. Real quick. Our story. Story so far. I'm going to break it down. I'm not going to get out the Photoshop to do it because I'm lazy. Players are contacted by Lavinia Vanderborn. She needs to get her family's wealth. Her parents, recently, boom, exploded in a ship. As it happens. This left her inheriting the family estate, but also inheriting the family debt. So she needs the players to go aboard her other ship, the non-exploded one, get a key to her family's vault, so that she can get her money and pay back these debts and become the noble that she really should be. Complicating matters is a band of thieves. Players fight through some animal smugglers. They get the key. They go to the vault. They solve a puzzle. The vault's empty. Oh man, her brother Vanthus Vanderborn stole all the money. Dang. Now it's chasing down Vanthus. He then lures them to this parrot island, seals them below, and tries to get them killed. Oh no, he's bad. Not only that, the players discover he's super bad, and he had another guy killed down there. And he's working with a band of thieves known as the Lotus Dragons. So, our story picks up there. The players are trying to find Vanthus, stop him from doing more harm, and stopping this band of thieves known as the Lotus Dragon. Lotus Dragons. Now, what we want to do. We have a chase scene. And I'd like to put in a chase scene. Because it just very vaguely... Let's even find the exact wording, because it's so uninteresting. There we go. As soon as one thief is slain, or the players seem to be about to reach the rooftops, the remaining thieves flee across the roofs, taking a winding route that eventually leads to Dead Dog Plaza. I mean, even 3.5, if I said that to my players, oh, they're running. My players are like, all right, well, yeah, we're going to catch them. I'd say, yeah, they don't. You don't. You do. You don't. You can track them, because then it does follow up with if the players track the thieves to Dead Dog Plaza. Rather than do that kind of very vague thing, let's use Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Let's use that to our advantage. Let's take a look at chases. Where have we got? I have chases here. There we go. Building a chase. First things first. I'm going to establish this right off the bat. I don't want this to be a medium chase. I don't want this to be a long chase. I want it to be short. If I didn't know the rules better, I would want it to be a shorter than short chase. However, the problem is, a very short chase means those thieves are just going to get away. Without the players getting to interact with them. So what we're going to do is we need 6 obstacles that you would find in the city. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make some obstacles. I'm going to go down here. Boop, boop, boop. Underline chasing. And we're going to go with obstacle 1. And since I am lazy, we're going to make a 5 obstacle chase, or 6 obstacle chase. 2, 3. All right. Now, this is where it gets less than exciting. I know, it's been so exciting lately, with all the talk about magazines older than most people in chat. I think everybody in chat. The magazines are older than I am. I'm nearing 35 now, and I know. I look good for my age. What do you do in a city, in a chase scene, that hasn't been done already? I mean, there is the obvious. There's the obvious. So, for those of you that don't know what a chase scene is, essentially, do they not have an example? I would love to have an example here to help you all out, and myself. You get an obstacle with several ways to do it. Here we go. Perfect example. A crowd. So you have a few ways to overcome it. Acrobatics or athletics, or society to follow the flow. Okay? Easy DCs, no problem. Success gives you 1 point. Critical success gives you 2 points. Generally, the way it plays out at the table is that you will need to get critical successes to actually catch up to the person. So you want to keep these DCs low-ish. Okay? Everyone at the table is going to be attempting them, so we want to give a good spread of skills. It can't just be like everything's just athletics and the wizard is there at the first, like, please guys, just carry me, drag me the rest of the way. Oh God. So you want to have a good spread. Something like this, acrobatics, athletics to weave through, society to follow the flow, kind of lets everybody, strength, dexterity, and intelligence characters all have a crack at things. And in the very least, you can always put perception, because everybody's got perception. All right, enough talk. Things that we could do in a city. Crowd is an obvious one. Crowd is so obvious. But let's do, these guys are running along rooftops. I mean, here's my thoughts. Follow from below. This does give us our skills. There's an easy perception. and I'll do these later. I kind of want to hash out this outline of what we want this chase scene to look like. We're running. These thieves are running along the rooftops. We're following from below. Okay. And we'll reword things later. Perception to follow them. Society to know exactly where they're going. Let's look at the skill list. I had hazards open for a reason. Feats. Skills. All right. We've got things like acrobatics, arcana, athletics, crafting, deception, diplomacy, intimidation, lore. Obviously, lore can have a lot of fun. Nature, occultism, performance, religion, society, stealth, survival, thievery. I think we are going to have like a Sassarine lore at some point. I feel like that's going to be... Sassarine lore is going to just get us through a lot of stuff. Sassarine is the city that this all takes place in, and we're going to talk about that after we convert this adventure. We're going to convert the city too. That feels not great, if I'm being honest. This here... Is there another skill use we could kind of toss in there? Oof. I mean, athletics just run along, but we're going to be using athletics likely a lot for this. Survival to track them, and I'm kind of okay with. You know, I enjoy that. All right. Now, chasing them, following from below. These guys are leaping from rooftops, rolling along the ground. Sassarine. I've done so many of these, like... And then they balance along, you know. Let's try something a little different. Let's look at skills and base a scene around that, you know. Something difficult. Something kind of tricky. What would a deception scene look like? The players have to go and fake their way through something. Oh! Wait a minute, I feel like I've seen this in a lot of movies. And we can use performance with it too. There's like an impromptu festival going on. There's like a parade of some sort. Okay? I'm going to write the skills first. Let's see. Deception. Performance. Stealth. Okay? We have an event going on. Event is taking place. Okay, so our thieves charge through, and now we have to... Maybe there's a street performance. Street performance. A play. And if you're a real dork, that performance can be referencing what's going to come up in Book 2 or Adventure 2, which is the Wormfall Festival. So that could be fun. We could write a little bit about that. I'll get a note here. Wormfall Festival, yeah. Kind of getting ready for that. So now the players can know, oh, we're part of this. Don't worry, we're going right through. Don't mind us, we're part of this. Or just sneak through. Sure, I'm all right with that. Let's look at more skills. I mean, we do have to have one that is, by the way, let me see, look at these skills. Charisma, dexterity. Maybe even in acrobatics. I'm going to put... The more skills I put here, the better. In terms of I can go back and edit down, and I don't like to edit up. I don't like to push more stuff in. Acrobatics. Okay. All right, now we've got that. Oh, boy. What about magic loose on the streets? So... Sassarine has a lot of infighting from noble families and guilds. Not a lot of talk about magic. Lots of religion stuff. Confronted by a mad Ouija worshipper. Let's do a religion one. Fronted by mad cultist. I want Sassarine to feel like the shitty part of New York. Okay, because that's sort of, I mean, it's not that. It is essentially Blood Cove from Galarian, where it is kind of this like hidden away special coffee. Its main export, I believe, is coffee. But it still has its roots in religion. But I do want you to feel like you're pushing through a crowd, and it's kind of maddening. Confronted by a mad cultist. Give me some religion. Get some deception in there, too. And athletics, just shove them aside. Shove them away. There we go. Cool. This is fun. All right. We do have to have, like, the classic, like, hey, we got a clean break. We could just run for it. I mean, that's an obvious athletics. Oh, man. Sorry. Here we go. I got so many tabs open now. Could we even do an intimidation? All right. Here we go. By the way, someone mentioned Tegrili Finith. I'm going to pronounce that wrong. About getting these on YouTube. And yeah, I think I have a busy week this week. My wife and I are doing some traveling for her job. She is currently on the cusp of 7 months pregnant, and she has to travel for work alone. So I'll be joining her for that. So she is not alone as a pregnant woman driving around the countryside of Japan. Marketplace area, yeah, that's such the classic. And I think I shouldn't avoid classics. Why did I put Madman again? All right, Marketplace. Marketplace. And, I mean, we got that obvious athletics. We got to push, to push through things. We've got the obvious acrobatics to squeeze through places. And you know what? Let's toss a diplomacy in there. I feel like I'm hitting a lot of charisma stuff, but, you know, it's not like there's that many skills to go through. Diplomacy to like, hey, like I'm cool, we're cool. Like I'm just passing through, don't mind me. Pew, 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 as I often do. Yeah, I like that. Anything else I want to throw in there? Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if there's like a lore there, but well. What about a street brawl? You passed through a street brawl. Oh, you know what? Strength of Thousands did this, where they actually had an attack roll. Not Strength of Thousands. I saw this in a society module, where they had an attack roll, which I really liked, as a part of not a chase, but something, and I kind of enjoyed that. I like the idea that you're running, and it's just like, oh my god, a fight's breaking out, ha-pow! And just keep going, like, oh, they aren't going to mess with me if I beat somebody in the face. It could be fun. I'm going to put unarmed strike. Chase through a bar. Oh, man. That could be very interesting. That could be very... You know what? I mean, we got 6 obstacles. I'm good to keep that, yeah. Bar. Maybe I can even turn the street brawl into a chase through a bar, because that would make a lot of sense. Yeah. Chase through bar brawl. Unarmed strike. Obviously, athletics. I mean, athletics really gets you through a lot of chases. I hate to say it like that. Intimidation. Screaming in. Ah! Everyone stay away from me! Do I want to do anything else? Like a society, maybe? A stealth? Sure. Sneak through it. I'm okay with that. Alright. Part of me wants to do something weird and esoteric. Like loose magic. Like a guild mage's magic has run loose. Maybe an arcana. And I have to justify these, and I will justify them later when I'll sit down with more time and less coffee brain. An arcana check to recognize what's going on, an occultism to realize, even a nature check to see what, summoned monster is just on the loose. Or even... Part of it is like, toss a thievery check in. Maybe he's got to put it back in a cage. I'm gonna just tentatively put a thievery in there. All right. So we've got a very basic chase. The DCs are very, very easy to put in. So now our players fight off these thieves. They start running away. We go through a performance on the street. A mad cultist is grabbing them, shouting, screaming, pushing them away. Tear through the marketplace. Boom, into a bar. Fight through a bar. And now there's magic on the loose. And then the guy jumps into, assuming the players did not catch up to them, he jumps into this well, leading them into, as my players often would call it, Fucktown. Things do not go well in Fucktown. Always bad. Bad news, they mark it on maps, capital F, Fucktown. So it's bad. Equally bad, I've just run out of coffee. I have another half a pot right over here. I'm kind of thinking about grabbing some. All right. Bink, one off the list. Now we do have to make a hazard to replace Nemian's trick. Very easy. I've even set that up for us to save us a lot of time. All right. Going back to, here we go. Have I got it here? No, monster tool. PF2 easy tools. Easy tools. PF2 tools. There is the template tool, which lets you format things very nicely like this. And what I did was I copy and pasted, what is it? Do I not have it anymore? I forgot what it's called. Like Haunting Choir. Essentially a level 1 hazard. This is a level 1 hazard. I'm calling it level 0 because what I want to make is a level 0 hazard that doesn't do much other than distract and perhaps frighten the players. I actually might even make this complex because what I want to do is keep them scared. Complex. There we go. Going to change all these things. Let me get some more coffee. I'll be right back. I drink my coffee black, not because it's better or tastier, but just because putting in other things is an extra step and I don't have time for that. There we go. All right. Oh, how are the acoustics in my house? I've got a very, for Japan, a very large house. All right. So, to go back, the players potentially, 3.5, this could go a lot of different ways. They potentially enter the taxidermist guildhall, and they meet Nemian Roblox. Let's get his picture up. There we go. This very nice looking fellow here. His ears look long, but I assure you he is a human. This upsets me. Anybody out there with an art degree, or anybody there who's done some drawing, you might look at this face and go, yeah, something about it is wrong, and you would be right. They're little things about the human face. If you get it wrong, it creates the uncanny valley. This is not full uncanny valley. But, fun trick, you guys can all do this at home, touch your nose, okay? Touch your nose, follow the bottom of your nose across your face. What do you get to? Bottoms of your ears, okay? This guy has not got that going on. No, sir. Long ears, fine. Touch your eyebrows, okay? Follow them over. Boop, tops of your ears. Fun trick, right? Not got that going on. He's got some weird ears that are throwing his whole face off. I am watching my viewer count decrease as I talk about this stuff. You'll never change me, Twitch. I'm always going to talk about weird stuff that makes no sense. All right, Nemian Roblox. What does it say exactly in his stat block? Not in his stat block. Here we go. He maintains the illusion of... Here we go. Nemian is sure of his skills and confident in his magic. His first action in any combat is to cast invisibility. I want to make that the trigger for this hazard. When he casts invisibility, boom. The stuffed animals in the room appear to be coming to life, hoping to trick the players into wasting resources. Okay? Cool. I like that. So, our trigger is anyone in the room casts invisibility. I feel like that's something that Nemian would set up You could do that in-game if you want verisimilitude with a, what's the spell called? Contingency spell. So this kind of works. Where did I put it? Boop-a-doo. Here we go. Trigger. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. A creature in the room casts the invisibility spell. Boom. Okay. All right. An illusion. Let's see. An illusion over the taxidermied animals makes them appear to come to life with roars. Appear to come to life as they roar and shriek for attention. Okay, now what that's going to do, my hope, is that it starts off combat by attempting to deafen all the players, which gives them a penalty to their perception checks, so that their initiative will likely start a little lower, which gives Nemian more time to work his magic and get away and warn the guild. Remember, his goal is not to kill the players or even engage the players. His goal is to get out and be like, oh, hey, these dudes are looking for the Lotus Dragons. I'm your lookout. We're going to be okay. Coffee. So let's call this, living illusory shrieks. I'll change all these. I'll change it. Disappears in a blinding light. Be better. As in the trigger. A creature in the room disappears in a blinding light. Or like an illusion. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I imagine like the players would see that, Nemian disappears. And I don't think that anybody is going to be like, well, what the hell? He just everyone's playing Pathfinder. They're going to be like, all right, so he went invisible. I just want them to think, oh, perhaps these animals, which we've already got like this meta idea that like, oh, they could come to life, is the much more terrifying threat, when in reality, there is no threat in this room, really. See, if I put all creatures, I'm going to say all creatures in the room. What is our, I don't want to do that. Let's take a look at deafness. Deafened. Okay. Yeah, okay. Automatically critical for perception check right here. Yep, -2 perception checks for initiative. Boom. Yeah, this is cool. Admittedly, small problem. Nemian would be getting hit by this. I think I could just write in Nemian is immune to this effect. Ooh, sorry. Okay. I'll make a note in my own work here. Nemian, having used this trap several times, is prepared for the trigger and is thus safe from its effects. Boom. I'll get to that later. All right, I'll when I get the cleaning up. Disappears in the blinding light. Yeah. Okay. Room DC. Where are my DCs? DCs by level check. Tab go. No, not DCM. I'm in Japan. I'm in Japan. Everything's in Japanese. It's so fun navigating life in Japanese. And by fun, I mean, fun. Okay. Yeah, DC 14. I like that. Fortitude save or be deafened. Whoa. Until the end of their Definitely for 1 round. Boom. Ta-da! Like, I wrote complex. We can keep that complex, or not. Okay. Disable. Disable should be a very easy, like, an Arcana. Arcana trained 2. Yeah. Redirect. This is where, and there is, if you read a lot of these hazards, there's a lot of bullshit present. Where it's just like, yes, well, you disrupt the ley lines in order to, and it's like, I don't know that I fully read through Secrets of Magic, but I do feel like a lot of writers are like, I don't know, how does the skill do this? It does. To negate the spell placed by Nemian. Okay? Or, classic, the DC... Make it a hard level 0. Thievery. Untrained. Remove. Okay. First off, there we go. That was getting ugly there. Remove to erase the runes. Erase the sigils. There we go. That sounds way cooler. Placed on the stuffed animals. Ta-da! Is there a period? Don't want to think about it too much, but here we go. Hazard format. Hey. No, of course there's no. Watch me as I go through Archives of Nethys. Yeah. Where's my list of hazards? Anyway, so yeah, I've got the good formatting there. Okay, so let's change the description. Roars and growls fill the air as the stuffed animals that line the walls appear to come to life. There we go. Stealth DC. All right. I think you should be trained to see this. I'm okay with that DC still, because that is that's a hard level 0. 2 plus. Yeah. To notice these sigils written, scribed on there. Inscribed at the base of the stuffed animals. Nice. Okay, I really like that. I can potentially... I think if I don't make that complex, if I don't add something happening at the end of every round, but if they're deafened, how would they hear them? Yeah. And you know what? I think I have no problem with that. I want the players to be worried that they're coming to life. That's all I want. They hear the shriek, and it deafens them. It's very loud. Nemian's escaping. The next round, when the haunt, we haven't called it a haunt. When the hazard activates, I almost called it Living Dead. That's a very living taxidermy. All right. Also, I got to change what this is. Auditory, emotion. No. Illusion. Illusion, I am okay. There we go. Auditory, illusion, occult. I am okay with him being an occult caster. I think we talked about this. Nemian is an occult caster. Okay. I still want to find my hazards list. Did I find it? Did I... My God. Where's the list of hazards? Alright. Pit. I'm going to look up pit. There we go. Then we'll look up general hazards. There we go. Let's look up a complex. Oh, not a summoning rune. Tomb Spirit? Sure. Okay. Alright. Routine. There we go. I was looking for the word. I feel like Jaden's has had a lot of really good ideas, and all I've done is be really mean to them, and I'm sorry. Yeah, what I want them to do is now, when the living taxidermy activates, it doesn't do anything but scare them. Or give them a frightened condition. Weakly. A very weak frightened condition. The players are then spending their time like, what? How do we stop this? Are they going to come to life? We could potentially go back to the Nemean, then introduces a summoned monster into the mix, but I'm not sure. I don't know sure how much I love that. All right, here is our routine. Let's take a look at... Yep. The taxidermied... Taxidermied... Is that how we spell taxidermied? Oh, well. Animals. Flex and roar for attention. Frightening those within. Make sure. Oh, why does it not say? This one does not have the one action, which it should have. Book of the Dead feels weird. Something that late on would not have that. I'm still gonna put it. One action. There we go. Okay. Each creature must make, again, a very low DC 14 will save, or be frightened. Whoa. 1. Or frightened. 2. On a critical failure. Boom. That's it. That's our hazard. Okay? That's done and done. I don't know that I have to do much more. I might look through that later just to see if there's anything I could tweak. Something actually I feel like in the transition between simple to complex, yeah, is that it's not a DC so much as it is the plus. It's not a big deal, but I will change it. So, does anything else have that like that? Let's find another complex. Okay. Huh. Cool rulebook. Boy, that gets weird right there. To notice the water spouts. Okay. Or -10 no movement for the earth. Okay. Yes. Okay. Huh. That is. Okay. Hazards, I swear to God, I relearn them every time. I'm going to keep it like that, and I'll look through hazards and stuff again if I want to change it. Like I do with all my stuff, print screen, take that over to my Photoshop, where I've got all these happy things to still convert over here. Okay, now, here we go. Back to our checklist. Boom. Whew! We got all the makeup stuff that I wanted to get done. Hour in, caught up from where I want to be. For where I want to be. Oh, what was I? Yes! I have this tab open because this is what we're converting next. I want to get this done today, but I don't foresee that happening. Here's the list of everything that needs to get converted. D2 through 33. Look at this. Look at all of this. We saw the Chris Perkins dungeon that was designed at level 1 for the Shackled City, and this is the James Jacobs. That this man then gave us Abominations Vaults is no surprise. And this is a really beautifully designed dungeon. I was talking to somebody that actually watched the stream, I know it's weird that anyone's like still having conversations with me about this. Anyway, he said, "Boy, I really enjoy the third edition design because the dungeons. It feels like you've got a lot of different ways to engage with the dungeon, which is true. So right here at C or D1, this is where if you chase after Nemian and you discover him in his little trapdoor and he goes down here, this is where you start off. Already, you've got a very different experience going in through these areas, which are which are more lightly guarded, or into these much more dangerous areas, which are guarded by the exotic animals. Then if you follow the thieves and you drop down into the crucible, which is just going to be the fuck town. It's murder central for you. Likewise, these little C's here all connect to buildings above ground, which, again, all of this gives you a very different experience in how you engage the dungeon. And you can see that, again, in Abomination Vaults. Very James Jacobsy. My experience with D&D, with Pathfinder, with role-playing games, came very strangely. I think I was one of the few people that just sort of came to the game organically. I had heard about it. I knew, it's a role-playing game, a game where you tell stories with friends, and I thought that was really cool. So my thought was, I imagine there's no rules for this. You just need dice. So I went through all my board games as a child, pulled out all the D6s, handed them out to my friends, and like, okay, this dice does fire damage, this dice does this dice does that. Made up rules and told a story. I didn't know the meta, so to speak. I didn't know the design. So my adventures were something like, you're on a road, there are bandits. You fight the bandits, you keep going down the road. On the road is a castle. They give you a quest, kill the dragon. Down the road is a mountain, there's a dragon in it. So I had none of the baggage, so to speak, of what the game actually was. And I didn't know how to form a game. I just wanted to tell a story and have my friends roll dice. So my first real introduction, beyond like AD&D, I did the same thing, essentially. I didn't have any rule books beyond a campaign guide, and I just used that, and I was like, okay, yeah, there's orcs here, and roll some of these dice. Yeah, you killed the orcs. So, 3rd edition comes out, and one of the things they did was put out modules. And like I said, I bought a few of these that were OGL, that were like cheap $2 affairs. But the first module I bought was not the one that everyone got. Everyone got Sunless Citadel, which is great. I've converted it over to 2nd edition. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a big dungeon crawl. And the immediate follow-up to it was Forge of Fury. Bruce R. Cordell, I think, who still works for Paizo. Curious about looking that up. Forge of Fury. Richard Baker. Not to be confused with Keith Baker. Okay? So, it's dungeon crawl, and it also, very, very, very importantly, had numerous ways to engage with the dungeon. There was obviously that opening. You could just go in through the front door, and it's a mess. Or you could sneak in through chimneys, or you could like go in through, I think there's like a pond you can get through. And it's got multiple levels, and you can like exit it out in this way. And each way that you approach the dungeon changed your perception of it. And that's something I'd love to see more of. Anyway, that's what we've got right here. I'm on just into tangents. I hope this is the content people like, and they're not like, make the numbers work for 2nd edition already. Okay. What we need to do. I've written down. Here we go. 5 rooms that only use these same statted thieves. Here we go. These Lotus Dragon thieves. We already have them. We have already made the Lotus Dragon Thieves. I do not have them into the main dock yet, but they're already made. They're boring. Their big thing is they have sneak attack. We are going to switch out some of the items that each thief will have, but what I want to do, and these are level -1 thieves, what I want to do is give us some new thieves to change things up a little bit, to make things more interesting. So we've got a room where thieves are acting as guards. They do not need to just be the same kind of squishy, fragile, rapier-wielding thieves. We can make them, we can kind of think like intimidation thugs, okay? Where they're fighting in a way that they can kind of go toe-to-toe with the players. Make them level 0. Or level 1, okay? I'm going to write down here, thugs, 0 or 1. Then we've got a room filled with crossbow snipers that are firing down at players. Again, we could use those old Lotus Dragon thieves, or we can make thief sharpshooters or snipers. And again, we can make them a little bit higher level 0, level 1. Our players will be level 2 at this point. So I don't want to go too high, because these are still mooks. These are still guys that players are going to like plow through. I am also tempted to make a thief wizard, like an illusionist, kind of like Nemian. I don't know how much I like that idea. Let me think. There's a room, D25. I didn't write down how many guys are in that room. 25 right over here. This is a training room. No, yes. 25. Does everybody else think like this when they do conversions? Does anyone else do any conversions? Training hall, yes. There are 6 thieves in here. I think having like a few of those guards, a few of those roguish types, and maybe being led by a dude that casts magic could be a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a level 1, like adept. Okay? So we're going to make 3 creatures here to populate this dungeon and just make life easier for us converting, and for making it more fun for the players to go through, because good God, killing the same guy over and over is just... That's World of Warcraft. It's an MMO. That's what that is. No offense. MMOs are great. I can't do them anymore. I get tired. All right. Here's our living taxidermy. Here we go. Am I logged in? Check it out. Logged in. Now we can actually save these so I can go back and edit them without having to do shenanigans later. So we had Lotus Dragon Thieves. We're going to do Lotus Dragon Bruiser. These are going to be their... Never GM'd. Just giving suggestions? That's cool, man. I'm so happy to have, like... Honest to God, if somebody popped in and all they knew about Pathfinder or D&D or anything was like that, was like, yeah, Stranger Things plays that. That would be the greatest person to have in. Anybody coming in, I'm happy to talk. I say anybody, but I imagine there are a few where I'm like, you got to get out of here. Okay. Let's keep these guys level 0. Okay? Humanoid, blah, blah, blah. Alignment. These guys, they were neutral evil, I believe. I could double check that, but, page 30. I just don't want to go back. Let's go back. I don't want to go back. I have to go back. Because I am persnickety. Yeah, I think they're going to be neutral evil. Like, these guys suck. They're not nice people. Yeah, neutral evil. Okay. I want them to be soldier types. So, base roadmaps. Or maybe not. Yeah, make them soldiers. So, there are not defined roles anywhere in any of the rule books for Pathfinder or anything like that. There are suggested roles. And that's what the Monster Tools does here, is it takes these and makes them into roadmaps, just to make kind of converting easier, giving them higher or lower stats based on what that is. All humans, yeah. So that is an interesting thing. You could see where the 3.5, and the big one, page space, comes up, is if you make a stat block, generally the best thing you can do is say male or female of any ancestry. Because their stats don't, like, if you suddenly put in, like, halfling, and in 3.5, if you put in halfling, or that you have to attach a lot of those racial traits. You don't have to do that so much in 2nd edition, so I'm okay with saying these are of very many variety of ancestries, and just not change the stats. Because the second you start changing stats to match every ancestry is the second you run out of page space, and as a designer, you run out of time or go insane. So yes, I'm saying humanoid. I think this is the time where I would put in human, and I have not done that. I think I will note it in the actual conversion. These are of any ancestries, male, female, non-binary, whatever, anything. Just that these are the base stats that the players are going to be interacting with. So, intelligence 30, these are good stats. I'm not going to touch the stats. We don't need to go crazy with stats for the mooks. We don't need to give them anything fancy. We can give them one defining ability that the players can understand and sort of interact with. And for these bruisers, taking a note from the ruffian rogues, making them these intimidation guys. These are tough dudes wielding cudgels. Like, I've got an image in mind. These are not the quiet guys. You send these guys in to bust up businesses that aren't paying you protection money. I enjoy that. They've got armor on, and I mean, like, we're talking leather armor. Weapon-wise, let's look at just basic stuff. Halfling fighter, yeah, heck yeah, man. Sorry, I was brought back to. Have I had any players that went totally tiny character, big damage? My players always went very classic. My player had half giant barbarian, orc fighter. My guys always went that way. Not me. I was always like, all right, and here's my gnome assassin. Oh, 4th edition. I had a gnome assassin, and I shouldn't say I hated 4th edition. I enjoy 4th edition. Hated playing it. Doesn't make sense, but here we are. What I want to do, give them. Let's see. I want the clubs. Club. Sources, traits, weapons, weapon type. Here we go. Weapon group, club. All right, so let's look at these clubs. Obviously, they're all going to be wielding battle loots. No, wait a minute. Simple clubs, 1d6. Let's... Oh, I was looking at the best adventures. Building creatures. Let's look at some of the expected damage for a level 0 creature. And that'll help me figure out what sort of weapon I want to give them. Because I like the idea of them having big two-handers, just smacking people around with like metal-banded clubs. That said, that could be a bit more powerful than we want. Saving throws, no. Hit points, no. Oh my goodness, come on. Attack, strike, bonus. Here we go. Damage. Our expected damage, 1d4 plus 2, 1d6 plus 2. I'm all right with getting to 1d6, which does kind of put us in that club area. We could give them a shield. I actually like that already. A light mace. I don't really like that as much. Morning stars are spooky. I'm thinking club. It's very basic, but yeah, I mean, a great club is way more damage than we want them to be tossing out there. Yeah, I think giving them clubs, have them have that iconic like band of iron at the top to kind of spook players. Give them clubs, give them shields. Suddenly, they present a little bit of a barrier for players. Not a tough barrier, but a barrier. All right. Let's get to these hammers. Yeah, going back to Warcraft, that was one of the things that growing up I played a lot of, like Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, obviously Warcraft 3, and eventually World of Warcraft, which I thank God I got out of, because it was like you go into college and have an MMO, and that's a terrible time. The Paladins, their iconic weapon was a giant hammer, which always felt wrong to me, because if someone was coming at me with a weapon, I would much rather get stabbed and run through with a sword than my bones pulped with a hammer. Oh dear, my battery's dying on my... Plug that in. There we go. All right. So yeah, I think hammers are incredibly terrifying. Well, let's look. Get literal hammers. Give them this weapon. I could talk about this one. It makes me upset. Advanced weapons. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with clubs. Nice and easy. Players don't even want to take them off their bodies when they're done. I'm okay with that. All right. Melee. Club. Yeah. I'm not changing a lot of these numbers too much. We'll bump that to a 3 for the sake of verisimilitude. Bludgeoning. Whoa. There we go. Traits. It has got thrown 10 feet. Okay. Yeah. I doubt they're going to be throwing the club. Do I want to give them a ranged... the club kind of is a ranged option. It's a very dumb ranged option, but it's a ranged option. Do I like these stats? Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay. 30 feet of movement. Whoa, not 30 feet. What am I? Wow. I have definitely been reading way too many 3.5 content. Pathfinder First Edition, 3.5. Base speed was 30 feet. I don't know why. Something must have changed for someone to say, actually, 25 feet should be the baseline. That's where we are. It says high attack and high damage. Yeah, let's bump that to 8. High, yeah, this is good. Cool. All right. I do want to give them some items. We've got a club, wooden shield, and studded leather. 3-action economy. 2. Yeah, you know what? You're right. And it's already been done in like every edition. It's statting out how fast someone can run, and it's always faster than Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt? It's always faster than the fastest guy in the world. Always. I remember in like monks are so silly. In every edition, they're always so silly. I have a story about that. Let me look at armor real fast. So, spoiler alert for Hell's Vengeance. There is a hazard there. There's a trap there, a haunt that can be overcome from running from the bottom of the stairs to the top of the stairs. During that time, it's a winding set of stairs around a tower. During that time, there is a flying creature, I believe, ghosts that are attacking you as you're trying to climb up. And the second you touch the trapdoor at the top, the haunt stops, the ghosts are gone, no problem. It's a very cool, fun cinematic encounter. Except if you have a monk on your team. Because my group is just like, oh man, how are we going to get up there? And the monk's like, well, I run up there, and then I touch the... They didn't even know how. Like, they didn't know that's how you stop the haunt. They just did it. And I was like, oh, come... Man, that was going to be a fun thing for me. Anyway. Yeah, you're right. 3-action economy. If you're already moving, if you're getting 3 actions rather than the double move. All right. What kind of armor fits best? Because I'm thinking studded leather. Oh, these guys don't have a great... Studded leather plus... What? Let's go a little higher than that. Chain shirt. Chain shirt has the same as studded leather. The key point monk run. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love... Let's stick with... hold on. Armor category. I don't want... Actually, let's stick with... What? Oh, I really messed up the armor category. Here we go. Light. Really? Chain shirt? Oh, yeah, I guess everything is 5. Let's give him medium. Let's give him scale mail. Fleet Elven Monk Key Run. Yeah, dude. Oh, my God. Elves. Elven monks with Longstrider. Like, oh my god! Thank God. Somebody was complaining to me that monastic archery had the limitation of within 30 feet to flurry arrows or something like that. There was a limitation to it. I'm not sure anymore. And all it took was like, yeah, but an elven monk with a bow would be untouchable. See ya. Anyway. Yes, what was I saying? I'm going to give them scale mail. I'm going to make these guys cool. I'm going to make them cool. Scale mail. There. So these guys are still our thieves, but they're also a different type of thief. Now, skills. Athletics. Okay? And intimidation. Intimidation. I say we go intimidation 4. Okay? Nothing great, nothing crazy, but it's enough to keep the players on their feet because we're gonna give them like a spooky thing. How would a thief intimidate? The classic, the obvious answer is give them a 2 action. I hit you, and I scare you. Or even like a 1 action. I hit you, and then I get a free demoralize. What is a very good... What's a very... Is there a different way to do a thief scare? You know, if you attack a flat-footed opponent, they're frightened. That seems a little too powerful. I don't know if coffee is giving me ideas, or if it's just giving me jitters. I know it's making me pull my hair into new and exciting positions. But yeah, I want them to have either... I want them to be skill focused here. Yeah. Intimidating. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I keep coming back to, just like 2 action, smack a dude, frighten him, or 1 action, smack, and then get a demoralized check. Well, let's start giving it stuff. I mean, and I don't want to overcomplicate it. Like, that's the thing. You don't want to give these low-level mooks just complicated abilities, and then the GM now has all of these strange creatures all in one combat, and they're trying to balance everything, and you're like, oh my god, what have I done? Me, in Kingmaker, most recently, was, okay, I have all of these bandits, 3 lieutenants, an owlbear, and the boss, and all of my players, and then their companions that they brought with them. And I stared at my players. I was like, guys, I gotta be honest. I'm gonna abstract like half of this fight because there's no way you guys are gonna care about me rolling for these abilities. That's just, we gotta stop. I'm like looking up how the Magus attacks. I'm like, oh my god. All right. Rattling. You know what? Can I? Yeah, so in Kingmaker, are they allowed to bring more than 1 companion? Yes. Caveat. There are no rules. Technically, so the way that it works is they say, you can have them bring a companion along for adventuring, but then have the rest of the companions following behind, a hex behind, as though they were on there just like kind of like cleaning up after you sort of job. And for my players, they don't care too much about the companions, which is a shame. They did offer to absolutely straight up murder one that annoyed them, which, hey, for me, that's back to old school. Like, hey, I hate this guy. Let's kill him. No consequences. But there was also like, oh, you found 2 people. What would you like to do with them? Like, well, we're going to this bandit den. So we'll just bring you with us. The one they hated was my favorite, Knock Knock, the Goblin Rogue. The thing is, I play him like a goblin. And please, if no one likes this, let me know. But he'd come out and was like,
Oh, hello there, everyone. I'm Knock Knock, and so happy to see you. Yes, I hear you're heroes. I'm a bit of a hero myself. I've killed many innocent people, as heroes tend to do. I'd like to learn with you.
And they were like, oh, this guy sucks. Let's kill him. It's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I love doing voices for games. I don't know if that works on stream, if everyone's just like, ooh, we're not doing that again. I was going to say, what if, hear me out, rattling block, okay? 1, we make this a defensive ability. We make it a reaction. Okay? It's a shield block. You lost it at the voice acting? Thank you! I like my goblins. I like my halflings. I'm hoping it's a good lost it and not like, we have to stop. We have to get out of here. I'm thinking about making this rattling block is when you block an attack with your shield, the enemy gets frightened. That could be interesting. I don't think I see a lot of it. It would encourage the GM to use these guys very defensively. I'm not sure. I mean, it sounds incredibly powerful. Or maybe you get a free demoralize. I like that. Here's the thing. If I make it a free action. Trigger. There we go. Trigger. Talisman for a shield that allows demoralized items so they can loot it. Oh, interesting. Oh, see, I really like that as an idea. Like, I really like that. But now I'm like, well, I want to give these guys something special for themselves. I want to give them something a little special. These guys themselves have something to use. Here's what I'm doing. I'm writing that idea down to steal it, to use it later. Talisman, shield block. Haha, your ideas are mine now. Demoralize. Yeah. By the way, if anybody out there is doing a lot of in-person GMing, which I'm not right now, it can kill your fighter. You can. Harloon is the heart, okay, of Quest for the Frozen Flame. He doesn't know it. I keep playing him like a reluctant leader, but I'm like, also, I want to lead a little bit. Let me be the boss. I love Harloon. I gotta play somebody who isn't so broody. What was I thinking? Oh yeah. So if you do GM in person, I think, and this is something even Matt Mercer says a lot. You don't have to do voices. You just have to the best advice. Okay, I know I have a very strange resume. I did stand-up comedy for a little bit, like a year. The year I chose to do stand-up comedy was 2020, which means I did it in 2019 and 2020, which means I started when Corona hit, which meant I stopped right away. The best advice I got for doing impressions was not to try and make yourself sound like that person, but to hit all like their habits. And so you don't have to do any voice acting. You don't have to change your voice to be a character. You just have to embody that character, which I know it sounds a lot harder. But like, if you're going to be a sneaky goblin, you might, hey guys, it might get your voice a little lower, and you might say sort of things like, actually, I think that you throw in some little laughter every now and then. I'm really embarrassing myself here, but that is, if you want to do voices, don't do voices. Just kind of give your character. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna stick with my rattling block idea. I might change this. Bruiser uses the shield block reaction. So this is interesting. Wow, I messed that formatting up. Shield block reaction. So you get it once around, essentially, and it won't stick around once that shield is gone. That's kind of fun. I enjoy that. Effect. The Lotus Dragon Bruiser makes a Yeah. Makes a... I'm forgetting the wording. Lotus Dragon Bruiser attempts. Makes a demoralize. My brain is not working on this one. Demoralize. Check on the triggering opponent. But that's not correct. On the opponent, on the target. I go back and I change all the wording for this stuff later, so you're not just seeing me freak out. Target that triggered the shield block reaction. I kind of like that, just because I see the same things. I'm not saying that intimidation and demoralize is a dead end, but it's so much has been done for it already. So much has been done for it already. Which is also why I'm stealing that talisman idea, and Harloon can die for it. So, all right.
Harloon Rhinewalker. Very upset about things. He's just sad all the time about things.
All right. Do I need to add anything else here? I kind of want to bump up that HP. Not a lot. Not a lot. Where have we got hit points? Yeah, I was going to say 16. Anything else? I mean, that's a fine... That right there, that's a fine mook. He shows up, smacks people around. He doesn't do anything too impressive. He's got athletics. He's got intimidation. He's going there. He's blocking. I'm okay with that. Cool. Oh, God, I got to give him the shield block reaction. Oh, my God. I forgot to give him the actual shield block reaction. Oh, gosh. My timing is comical. Da-da-da. QRS. Okay. Okay. My brain's saying I'm missing something, but I'm sure it'll come to me. Print screen. Take that over to Photoshop. Put another one right up there. I have a number of layers. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So there. That's one in the bag. Boom. Let's get out our next monster. So I want to do a sniper. Sniper. I'm going to keep this one also level 0. Neutral evil. Lotus Dragon, like sharpshooter. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, look, there we go. We've got the sniper. Roadmap. Okay. Language is common. Again, none of these guys are really all that bright. Okay. Rather than hand crossbows, give them crossbows. What do I want to do with them, though? Is my next question. Is what do I want these sharpshooters to do? That's special. Because I think, really, just having a crossbow is, one, their shtick. 2, well, kind of taking a cue from the sniper gunslinger is having them be the sneaky fighters. That they are going to constantly be using that hide skill and constantly attacking while opponents are flat-footed. Not necessarily benefiting from it. I mean, we could give them the sneak attack ability. Do we need to? I don't know. Gosh, I hope that the stream did not pick up that neck crack. That was surprising. Okay. Did not expect that to happen. All right. So, we want to give them stealth. We want to give them thievery for the sake of lore, thematics, verisimilitude. And what I want to do, give them a little dagger to fight with. That's their melee. But we want to give them a crossbow. I kind of want to steal ideas from the gunslinger. Question, do I want to give these guys sneak attack? Do I want to give them sneak attack? Because they're not... Well, yeah. Let's give them sneak attack and some stealthy tricks. Okay? That's what we're gonna. Well, obviously this is not melee. Let's give him some sneak attack. I am repeating myself. All right. Taking cover and hiding, one action. Sounds very powerful. Sounds incredibly powerful. Trying to think, like, oh, how about when you hide, you get to reload. Hey. Kind of like the running reload that Rangers get. And I kind of enjoy that. Fill in details. Look at me just tossing stuff up willy-nilly. Is it? Where's general go? No. Off or defense. None. Yeah. Yeah, let's make it an action. You hide and interact to reload. You and interact to reload. Good job, me. Okay. The Lotus Dragon Sharpshooter hides and then interacts to reload. Boom. Yeah, no period there. Okay. All right. Quiet sniper. All right. I think. Hey, that looks not bad. That looks not bad. I'm gonna go back here so I can copy paste so I just get everything right. It's almost embarrassing to me. Just how quickly I remember what stats I want to look at right away. How often do I do this? The Lotus Dragon Sharpshooter deals 1d6 extra precision damage to flat-footed creatures. Boom. Easy peasy. No problems there. Dagger, agile, finesse, thrown. Alright. Somebody else, please tell me that I'm not the only one that does this. I keep thinking that daggers have the backstabber trait. I got into a huge debate with a friend of mine that daggers were really good weapons because it had the backstabber trait. And he's like, what are you talking about? There is no backstabber trait here. I don't know why. I keep thinking that. Here I am. Agile finesse. Agile finesse. Thrown. 10 feet. Versatile S. If you guys see me keep jumping between tabs to try and remember things, my memory is really bad. So I'm learning Japanese right now. Still, I've been here for 7 years, and I'm still. It's a lifelong process. I know that, but I feel like my process is going a lot slower. I will stare at the same exact word for like 13. I don't know why 13 minutes, but 15 minutes and so. And I'll see it again a second later and be like, no idea, never seen that word before in my life. Never seen that kanji. Doesn't make sense, doesn't exist. Alright. There we go. 1d4. What are these? Let's just, since they're not going to be using this, -1. These guys, they're weak. They're weak. But that's not their weapon. But we are. What's our attack here? Let's give that attack high. Let's keep that attack also high because I'll be using it for finesse. All right, and crossbows are what, 1d8. Am I still in? Yeah, 1d8. Thank goodness. Yeah, this damage. I think this is a fine looking creature. This is a fine looking creature. If I do pat myself on the back. Good job, me. 120. Oh, I keep doing this where I have to look up like what the. How does that get formatted again? I don't know. Bandit. You've got to have a ranged weapon. Of course. Range increment. That's what it is. Range increment. 120 feet. Okay. Increment. 120 feet. Cool. Yeah. Oh. Speed's got to change. That's not right. And, of course, we got to give him a dagger. Crossbow. 10 bolts. And leather. Leather armor. Ta-da. Stealth thievery. Do I want them to be higher? Yes. Yes. Make them 6s. Cool. All right. So now these guys pose a little bit of a threat, and in opposition to the soldiers that we had just a minute ago. Let's just lower their armor class a little bit. The players get there. Not that 1 hit point here or there is going to be a huge difference, but having been at the table, and I'm sure all of you have, sometimes that 1 hit point does make a huge difference. All right, Lotus Dragon Sharpshooters. Boom, another one in the bag. Yes. For those who are just joining or are wondering what the hell I'm doing, we've got a bunch of very boring encounters that we're trying to spice up by introducing different types of thieves. And we've just got one more to go, I think. Yeah, one that I've dubbed and I've written down here as the Adept. And I want this to be the level 1 creature here. Again, neutral evil. Lotus Dragon Adept. That feels wrong. Because he's not actually all that good with magic. He's using magic for a very specific purpose. So I imagine he's going to have like enchantment spells, illusion spells. Nothing overly like, this dude isn't shooting out burning hands at the players. Trickster sounds like a very immature name. Lotus Dragon. Well, we'll get to names are names. We are going to give him an intelligence spellcaster. Make him an intelligence spellcaster. This guy's kind of a wimp in terms of base stats, but what we're going to work on is we don't have to give him anything special. Just give him spells. And let's look at the spell list first. That'll help us kind of decide where we want to go with him. Arcane spells. Make him a wizard. Let's look at 2 first level spells. Does that seem right? 2 first level spells. Yeah, 2 first level spells and like 3 cantrips. Okay. Let's separate these by school. Because I want to look at specifically illusion stuff, enchantment stuff, and I kind of want to avoid the other stuff. Color spray. While it does have that incap, dazzled for 1 round essentially being the victory there is not the best. Illusory object. Could we? 20-foot burst. Entire image. Oh. Yeah. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is essentially what I wanted to do for Nemean. But I'm going to stick with what we got with the hazard. Whoop. Thicket of knives. No. Ventriloquism. Still, this guy should pose some threat to the players. So he's not like Nemean, and Nemean had like no combat, anything. Endure fear. Yep. Give him fear. Gotta give him fear. That's a fun one. All right. I'm losing my stuff here. First level spell. Fear. What else are we gonna give him? What is this? Forge of Fury, right. Let's see, what are the spells that are kind of interesting? Not typically combat based, but more like, grease. One of my favorite spells ever. I know that Nex has had to deal with my grease spells. I don't know about anybody else. Whoever ran Agents of Edgewatch with me back before Strength 1000 started had to deal with me using grease, including a monk that natural 20'd over that grease every single time. All right, fear and grease. Fear, grease. I don't think. Oh, let's see. Wizard spells. Wizard prepared. There we go. Arcane prepared. That's not wizard prepared. There we go. Arcane prepared spells. The DC is... Yep, I'm alright with that. Spell attack? Sure. Yep, okay. There we are. Let's give him some cantrips. These, I'm okay with being a bit damaging. Let's not give him Electric Arc. It's not fun. It's not interesting. Produce Flame is a classic. Phase Bolt, I don't think gets enough love. It doesn't get enough love, and I think at low levels is the time to use it. Let's give it Mage Hand. Phase Bolt. I'm good on those two. Tanglefoot, perfect. Perfect. One attacking spell, one debilitating, and one that's kind of thematic and might get some use. So Mage Hand, Tanglefoot, Mage Hand, Phase Bolt. Mage Hand, Phase Bolt. There we go. Done and done. Mage Hand, Phase Bolt, and Tanglefoot. Boom! So, this guy, he's nothing special. He will be there to kind of trip up the players just a little bit. Obviously, he's not going to be alone in a room. We're going to give him some guards, some help here. But I like him. I like him quite a little bit. He doesn't need anything extra, I don't think. Obviously, he is going to be doing some stealth. Give him some thievery. He has the intelligent... What the hell? Intelligence 5? This guy's smarter than everybody. My lord. He's a genius. Level 1, he's smarter than all the players. Let's make it 3. It just feels very wrong. And bump that up to a 2. To take place of is just terrible, terrible. Alright. Common. What are the... Whoa. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole, but languages that he should know. Like, everyone speaks Aquan. There's a reason for that. Aquan, Draconic, these are good. These are good for him, yes. There is a reason for Aquan and Draconic. Aquan, Common, Draconic. I gave Nemian an additional one. Let's see. I'm looking up. I gave him Sylvan. Yes, I like Sylvan because there was some... they were doing some coding with it. I might have to look again if that was on the bad guy's side, so to speak. All right. Neat. Stealth, Thievery, give him some Arcana because he's got the... and Deception to get him out of stuff. Let's make this Deception. 4. Arcana. 6. Perfect. All right. Stealth. 5. And Thievery. 5. Okay. This guy uses his magic to get what he wants, to do his thieving. Okay. He's the, what's it called? Arcane Legerdemain. Legerdemain? Anyway. Stealing stuff with Mage Hand, which now has been put into the Spell Trickster dedication, which is super cool. I had a Spell Trickster for a play-by-post game. I was excited to use him, but it didn't take off, which is a shame. Yeah, this guy would be covering the tracks of thieves as they do stuff. I like this. No items. This guy doesn't need anything. Yeah, I like that. That's fine. I think... oh, he doesn't even have any attacks on him or anything. What have I done? At least let's give him a sling. Maybe a dagger. Agile. Finesse. Thrown 10 feet. And versatile S. All right. And 1d4. Piercing. Ta-da! Ta-da! And we'll make that +6. Very weak. And you know what? Give him a sling too. Not that, like, I think... No. Nah. He's got the dagger. He's fine. And he's shooting out lasers from his hand. Force punching people all around. Pow, 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 pow. Yeah. All right. How am I doing for time? 2 hours in? 2 hours in. We got a decent amount going. Not the most exciting thing, but with spellcasters, they, especially if you're using mook spellcasters, you do not want to overburden the GM's like mental load. Okay? You don't want to be like, oh, before he casts Mage Hand, he will use a meta magic that will allow him to use the shove. You could, but that becomes a bigger everything. Alright. Especially if you're just going to like populating a dungeon with this guy, I think it's fine. Fine the way it is. If I go back and change stuff, I will note it. I will note it on the doc. Which, by the way, take a look at this doc. Okay? We've got, look, someone's watching right now. We have 14 pages. Holy cow. 3 streams, 14 pages. Admittedly, 13 of that is this stuff. Oh my lord. That is quite a bit. Alright. Roguish enemies created for the Lotus Dragons base. Huzzah! I might want to reward myself with a bathroom break. I don't have any food in my house. Uh-oh. So I'm like thinking about what to do for lunch. Actually, I'm gonna show off. I'm not gonna like cook lunch on stream or anything like that. I am gonna use the bathroom, but I want to show off what I do have for lunch and why it's yucky gross. But I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm gonna get that and use the bathroom. It's yucky gross. What's wrong with me? Okay. Woo. All right. This is my weird little tangent about food. Let's see. Here, can I do this? Check this out. Ta-da! There we go. Have I done it? You guys can just see me. There we go. Cool. This is butter chicken curry in a bag. All right, you can kind of hear it sloshing around in there. Okay, there's a supermarket near us that sells bulk food very cheaply, and money ain't great in the Azura household right now. And we got like a bunch of this for dollars, and my wife this morning kind of looked at me and just said, could you just eat all of that because it's disgusting? And just pour this over rice and it almost tastes like food. All right, I will get back to, boop, there we are. I feel like, I could change buttons so it's not such a, anyway. I'm going to be making that for lunch, but first, I'm going to use a quick bathroom break. We're going to start converting step by step. Woo! This big old dungeon. So everyone take a look at that while I am gone. Be right back. Alright, and I'm back! Alright, we're gonna get to work on this over here, this big old friggin' dungeon. We're gonna get to work on converting it. Not as hard as it looks. I don't have to write the dungeon. I don't have to design the dungeon. I just have to reconfigure the encounters and numbers inside. First, though, while I was at the bathroom, got a great message from my wife. So today, we found out if my next child is going to be a boy or a girl. I couldn't go to the hospital today because they still have corona restrictions here in Japan. We're still all wearing masks, actually. So I couldn't go today because I wouldn't be able to go in. So we'll find out today if I'm going to have a boy or a girl. Yay! But my wife is playing coy, and she's like, "Well, I know, but I'm not going to tell." So I got to wait. Maybe let me check my phone here. Super cool, super exciting stream action. Let's see. She's going to be... No. She's going to play real coy with it. Okay, now, on to the adventure. We did all this Nemean stuff. There is all of this stuff. Now, here's the trapdoors. Here's the, how to get down there originally. I believe we actually covered this in the in last stream. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. 2 kids, my wife and I, every time my son has a tantrum, but in particular, he wanted to eat a peach for no reason this past Friday. He was like, I need a peach. I need a peach. I need a peach. We just kind of look at each other and go, yeah, we're going to have 2 of these, right? We've decided on 2? Okay, cool. Oh my God. All right. Here is fun 3rd edition shenanigans. 20% chance that when they're on alert, there's a patrol of 3 Lotus Dragon thieves. Am I going to convert that? Yeah, I am. Because I'm not sure that all the numbers line up correctly. We'll make a patrol, so that's first things first. Let's get this out. And I'm patrol of thieves. Whoa. Okay, yeah, exactly. What's funny is my wife and I were talking, and this is a very cute idea. I actually like it, but it's also insane. She's like, well, if we have a 3rd, which came out of nowhere, we're thinking about a 3rd. Okay, I got it. She said, well, we'll sell this place and we'll move into a house, which is a big thing in Japan, like having a house. Oh my God, look at these rich people in a house. And then we'll move my parents in with us. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And she's like, and when we'll use the money, we'll retire early. What's happening? I wasn't involved in this planning process. All right. So we'll make a patrol of thieves. I'm going to count that later. When we have the final number of thieves. Okay, cool. All right. You're going to be a patrol of thieves. That's it. That's all I need to note. All right. Taxidermy entrance. Boom, 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 boom. That is right over here. Let's zoom in, move through these rooms together. Here's our taxidermy entrance, D1. Players come down here. They have the option of going this way, which, let me tell you right now, not a great idea. The players should know they're in these caves, they hear the sloshing of waves, and they're like, probably not the right way to go. But hey, Next up, D2. Very small 10 by 10 room. 10 by 10 room. Chest is kept empty, time of rest. The guild is on alert. Okay? The north door is closed and the south door is left open, so the 2 thieves posted here can keep an eye on the door for the south for intruders. If they see any, they raise a cry to alert the rest of the guild and attack with arrows. To me, that's... Oh, look at this. Urchin venom. We actually made this. Fun. Okay. If I'm on the launch, we're not going to... Okay. This, to me, sounds like we've got some guards. And it sounds to me like we made sharpshooters at the right time. This could be 2 sharpshooters sitting here behind cover, firing at players. what I want to do is get a building encounters. What would 2 level 0s be against a level 2 party? 40. A trivial encounter. We are likely going to have a bunch of trivial encounters. And I don't want to have a lot of trivial encounters. This, I'm going to have to do a lot of number balancing. A lot of number balancing. I mean, I could jump those snipers up to level 3, or level 1, and that would become a low encounter. Alright, I'm going to keep it at a trivial. Trivial 2. Okay, and it's going to be 2 sharpshooters. Okay, the reason for that right now is their role is to alert everybody else. The thing is, 3.5 design, Pathfinder design. Okay? Pathfinder 2e is very particular in encounters not leaving their boxes, for the most part. Okay? You have a fight here, the fight stays here. Okay? You might have connective tissue that takes it to another area, but the math is built around staying in that one fight. Not so with 3.5. You can, and it is expected at certain points, for fights to kind of grow and snowball out of control. So it's a pain point for converting. That if you have the expectation that a fight will get bigger, instead what you have to do is sort of anticipate the maximum difficulty of an encounter and then adjust from there. So while this might be a trivial encounter, let's take a look at the map. They are going to be alerting people. You might say a patrol of thieves comes by, that bumps it up to a low or even a moderate encounter. So yeah, I'm okay with keeping that as a trivial for now. If I don't like it, I might go back and revisit it. Okay. There we go. On to 3, which looks to be a barracks. And entirely correct. It's a barracks. 7 thieves sleep here, but never more than 7 at a time. If the guild's on alert, there are no thieves here. I'm not going to change... Am I going to change anything here? No. I think that I'm going to allow the GM to be smart. If the players do sneak in while the guild is not on alert, the encounter blocks from here on out are going to kind of assume that the guild's on alert. So if the guild is not on alert and their players are quite savvy or clever, I will trust the GM a little bit here. There are 7 thieves here. Don't have to change anything in the original module because we already have the stats for thieves. But now, since I've made a bunch of different thieves, a GM would have to kind of make an encounter out of that. Let's look at, like, let's say an encounter with 4 level -1s and 3 zeros. 3 zeros would give us 60. And 7 of these, doing math in my head like an idiot, 90, 60, 150. Oh, God. Okay, we've jumped up to an extreme encounter. But an extreme encounter that I think a level 2 party could at least fight to escape out of. So that, I mean, a GM could adjust that fairly well. We'll see. We'll see if I go back and change that. Okay, D5. Well, I've already made all the notes of things that need to get changed. Look at me. Cruncher! All right. Let's go to D5. Where is it? Oh, look. He's just got his own little room here. He's got his own room. I want to read this. Single black-furred warg named Cruncher dwells here, raised by a pup. Smart enough to recognize guild members and doesn't attack them. Players might slip by the monster with a good disguise check. Sure, yeah, okay. He guards the cell block to the north. Blah, 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 blah. Cruncher understands a few words in common but rarely speaks. Cruncher is only found here if the guild isn't on alert. Okay. Warg. Can we make that direct conversion? Can we make that just a direct? That's a warg, you know? Warg. 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 Yeah. Yes. It's going to be on level, so that's what, a low encounter for them? 40. Trivial, again. Cruncher, could we potentially make him elite? How deadly does elite become as a warg? Because I think Cruncher will show up again later. It doesn't. I don't think. Let's get to Cruncher again later. I don't want to like control F for Cruncher because I feel like I'm just gonna get into some. Here we go. Here's Cruncher again. Look, prevent any. Yeah, he is on his own for the most part. I think making him an elite warg is not a terrible idea. Cool. I'm all right with. Let's try that for now. He does alert the complex, put them on high alert. But let's make him low 2 elite warg. Ta-da! Cruncher. Neat. Easy. So this is. Oh, come on, we keep going at this rate. We'll have the whole adventure converted and up for people on Reddit or wherever to play right away by the end of this week. Hey, that would be great. Yeah, by Friday, people could be playing this game. Like it. All right, D6. D6 is our subblocks. Here we go. Just got to turn your head a little bit there. A classic staple of 3.5. What happens when your players get beaten? They go to the prison. They always go to the prison. Okay. Yeah, 5 prison cells, blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry. Here we are. Yes. Unless one of the players has been captured by the Lotus Dragons, no prisoners languish in these cells. These locks and gates can be opened with a DC 30 open lock check, or the bars themselves are already beginning to rust. Okay. So, what that says to me, we put a... let's look at the locks. High warg. I'm going to put... Good lock. There we go. We'll look at the locks. An average lock requires 4 successes of 25. We don't want the players picking these easily, but we also want them to be somewhat possible. I say each one has an average lock, and they can be forced open with like a DC 20. It's not easy, but it's not impossible, so that it can be done. Okay. Make locks on cells. Average locks. That is 4 DC 25 thievery checks. And make force open DC 20. Okay. I'm playing it a little loosey-goosey with when I'm shouting out DCs. I kind of know level 1, 2, 0 DCs. You do a lot. So much conversion happens at low levels and doesn't happen. What I mean to say is a lot of people convert at low levels and they don't get to those higher levels because they burn out or they don't get a lot of interest in the project, or you start converting for your own game and then that game never gets to high levels, so you never convert up to that high level. Speaking from experience in all areas, this stream is a very good way to keep me motivated and going forward with this and having a lot of fun doing it. All right, Area 7. Here we go. This looks like a room. We've got a secret door here. Ooh, we're gonna have to do some secret door conversion. The guest room. You know what? This is where I knew we were going to hit another spot that was going to be a tricky conversion spot, and this is it. The guest room is a joke. Okay, this is a torture chamber. This is a rack. This is not a bed. This might be a rack. Anyway, let's see. There's an Iron Maiden in the southeast corner. There's a stretching rack. A sizzling brazier of coals sputtering in the southwest corner, giving the chamber a hellish red cast. So yeah, Old Paizo, we should talk about this area might have a few red flags for people. Once torture chamber, which might not be so bad on its surface. Torture definitely sucks, but these are bad guys. We're not showing any torture. Okay. Yeah. However, we do have another little one. And this is, again, 2023 sensibilities. You probably wouldn't include this into a module nowadays. I'm not taking it out because it is up to the GM here. Koresh, the torture here, is a crude, foul-mouthed racist with little time or use for dwarves, halflings, or gnomes. Okay? Racism is kind of kept out of products nowadays because while it may add verisimilitude, it may add an element of reality to the games, and an element of these are bad people and we do not want to align with them. We don't want to kind of put that on stage as a thing that we want to kind of see. I'm no professor in this. I'm no expert. We don't want to see that keep showing up in media, either with good or bad representation. It doesn't need to be put into a game where we're having fun. Even if you want to make it the bad guy. That said, that's for publishing, okay? If you as a GM are like, I'm going to play this guy up bad, and if he sees a halfling, he's going to call them this, and he's going to call dwarves this, and he's going to have this background and reason for being racist. Totally fine. Don't let me stop you. I would probably play him a bit of a jerk myself. But, yeah, when it comes to publishing stuff, you're not going to see that anymore. 2006. Okay. Oh, here, speaking of things you won't see anymore, anyone who examines these bonds and makes a DC 16 use rope check realizes the nature of the knots. Use rope was just a whole skill in and of itself. I don't know. Yes, using rope came up so often in the older editions that they were like, well, obviously, this needs to be a skill. And everyone else was like, yeah, that makes sense. Of course. Why wouldn't it be a skill? You got to use rope. Now we can just use thievery for that. Okay. So let's look at what we have to do. First things first, a searching player can discover the secret door. Easy. DC 20? Yeah. Secret door. I am going to make that DC 18 perception to find. Still very difficult at level 2. Make sure. As level 2. Yeah, that's a hard level 2. So I'm okay with that. And this. Okay, so here's what's happening. Kirsch here has glamored armor, I believe. Is it glamored? Where's his armor? Yeah, glamored chain shirt. Lets him look like rags. That's a very fun item to give to players, and I think it's also a low-level rune. Let's check it out. Glamored. There we go. Ooh, that is a level 5 rune. Okay. I mean, easily, we could just make it that mundane disguise. I mean, that's the thing. Like I said earlier, 3rd edition, they really like to use their magic items in interesting ways. And as much as I'd love to be like, this guy's got a glamored shirt on, and he's made it look like he's got... giving the players this amount of gold this early into the game, it's not going to fly. That's not going to fly. Even if your players are super altruistic, and they're like, well, we're not going to sell this. We're going to keep this. It's still very good. I mean, yeah, but you can't stop every table from selling it. Like 100%. You get this, and there's gonna be the one guy that's like, yeah, but do we really need a glamored rune? Absolutely not. Sell that, get a quick 70 gold pieces, and let's grab our fighter a bigger sword. Yeah. So instead, what we've got to do here. Change the glamored trick into mundane disguise. Is glamour really? Yeah, okay. Well, interesting. All right. So we've got the mundane disguise here. Tie that in with the... I'm going to sub note. Tie this roll into noticing the slip knots. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right, then he posed one of the Lotus Dragon thieves in this room to pose as his torturer. Now, depending on how we make Karish, I think his name is Kirsch. Depends on what will kind of dictate who we put in the room with him. So looking at... We don't have anything to do else here. Okay. Looking at his stats. Hey, time for me to use my encyclopedic knowledge of 3.5 feats. First off, he's fighting with a branding iron, which is really cool. We're 100% keeping that. That's cool. He's got sneak attack. Sure. Improved bull rush, improved unarmed strike, power attack, skill focus, intimidate, weapon focus, unarmed strike. That tells you everything you need to make this guy. He is going to be demoralizing. He's going to be pushing. And he is going to be punching. Okay? Nothing. This guy's a big bully. And, do we have... Yes, we do. If he gets a chance, he tries to bull rush a player into the waiting Iron Maiden. If he manages to do so, the player takes this much and this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let's keep the Iron Maiden, and let's keep him pushing. Let's keep him intimidating, and let's keep him beating people with this stick. We will have to change a few things, for sure. If the player doesn't take a move action to clamor free of the Iron Maiden, he will slam the lid, automatically inflicting 10 points of damage on anyone trapped inside. So we're going to have to convert there. All right. Nope. How do I always forget? Is it this? There we go. I'm going to start with Iron Maiden. Do I want to make that No, it doesn't need to be a hazard. I think it's just its own thing. 2d6 damage, 10 damage automatically. I mean, those numbers feel fine. Just change wording to PF2 action and stuff. Okay? I'm alright with that. Alright. Kirsch. Let's make him level 3. I'm stating that really early. I might change my mind. So it'd be worth 60 experience. We'll toss a level 0 with him. So that goes up to 80. That makes it a moderate encounter, and I'm alright with it. Yeah, that's fine. Kirsch is gonna be... Here's our next guy. He's gonna be our torturer. He's gonna be a bully. He's gonna be a brute. Alright, level 3. Yeah. Brute. Why did my brain stop? Oh, because I forgot his name. Refton. Kirsch Refton. UN? UN. Alright. So, do I need to... I don't think we need to keep the sneak attack on him. That is very much, as Nex brought up earlier, taking that dip to get that extra kind of point of damage, but unnecessary here. Unnecessary here. Change some of these. Boom. This guy, he's going to be tough. He's going to be a tough dude. No charisma. I'd rather have him have no intelligence, some charisma. Because we're going to have him intimidate people. Alright. Ooh, look at these. Look at this. This is nice. 12 fortitude, 9 reflex, 9 will. Oof. 56 hit points. Yeah, this guy's a fight. This guy is a heck of a fight. But, essentially, 4-on-1. He just speaks common. He is also... Is he still neutral evil? Yeah, he's still neutral evil. He's just a real jerk. Real jerk, this Keftin guy. Alright, so the skills that we want to focus on, he's going to be having this athletics. He's going to have this intimidation. And he is going to be trying to disguise himself. And he might not be the best at it. 3, 5, 6, yeah. There we go. I hope I don't look crazy by just counting numbers. Yeah, 3, 5, 6, obviously. 3 for level 2 for potential proficiency, and 1 for his charisma. Yeah, makes sense to me. Bump that to a 10. Ooh, yeah, this guy's going to be a real bruiser. Again, those numbers don't have to work. They do not have to work. You don't have to justify them. Low levels, I am justifying them just for the sake of simplicity. All right. Let's keep this chain shirt. Red Hot Poker. Is the official name of poker fireplace poker? Well, what is a fire poker tool called? A stoker. That sounds worse. No one's going to know what a stoker is. Red Hot Poker. Oh, branding iron. Oh. Yeah, branding iron. There you go. Branding iron. And chain shirt. Crap, I had some breakfast. I'm getting hungry again. It's all right. Hour and a half of this stream, and then I'll go eat. All right. He's also unarmed. Fist. Boom. And he's good at it. And I'm going to put red hot branding iron. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Maybe on a crit he can set people on fire. 1 persistent fire damage. Or maybe just hitting somebody gives that persistent fire. Yeah. All right. I feel like when I played this game, my players took the branding iron and fought people with it. That feels right, but it also feels very wrong. Agile finesse. Do this so much. I hope my voice doesn't sound super bored. And I'm like, agile finesse, blah, 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 blah. Non-lethal unarmed. Yeah, sure. Well, if he's... I think he's going to take off the yeah. I don't think he's going to have non-lethal on there. Okay. D4. Now. We want to get up to 10. This is where we might start switching out of the verisimilitude mode. Okay? Okay, he's got an agile attack with 1d4 plus 7. That's pretty nasty. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's kind of gross. But I don't hate that. Okay, that's essentially around moderate damage. It's just what I don't like is attaching a big flat damage number to a small die. Because it's just the variance is so small suddenly. Because now it's between 8 and 11 damage. Rather than like 2d6 plus 3, where you get like a bigger spread where anything could happen. I like 10. On an agile, I mean that's rough. High attack, high damage, yeah. Low attack and extreme damage. Yeah. 12, I think, could work. Alright, so what this is, this red hot branding iron, should be quite a bit. Okay? Its damage is, yeah, boy. 1d6 plus 7. What is it? What is a branding iron? I mean, in terms of, like, I know what it is, but should I just make it fire damage? The whole thing? Like 2d6 plus 7 fire damage? No. Can't. I mean, then I have to put a weird striking rune on it to make sense in world. I don't want to make it a 1d12. Now I've got players going like, wait a minute. Give me the one-handed 1d12. So what I'm going to do, 1d6 plus 7 bludgeoning, plus 1d6 fire damage. Okay? Yeah. Yes. Traits for this thing. Not agile. No. Does it need any traits? Because the way I'm thinking of it is like a metal club. Just Let me look at some of the weapons here. Let's look at some weapon traits. Just to get ideas. Shove, nah. Well, hold on now. He's got the free hand for shoving anyway, but that's interesting. Parry, Deadly. Yeah. Giving it deadly could be good. He suddenly becomes quite the... I mean, this guy is already quite the threat. He should be. He should be quite a threat, and I think I want to like that. Deadly D8. Yeah. See, here's the thing. This is another 3.5 thing, and a Pathfinder thing smacking up against each other. You can absolutely technically pick up that branding iron, and a player is going to say, hey, can I wield this? And you're going to say, yeah, it's a simple weapon, and the traits here say this, I guess. I don't have a definitive answer. A deadly D8 simple weapon. Does that feel right? Let me look at this. Okay, hold on. No, I don't want that. Weapons. Simple. Let's look at the simple weapons. Are there any deadly D6 on a forked bipod? Sure. Fatal D8 on the frying pan. Gosh dang, why am I not using the frying pan already? Everybody's got the frying pan build. Deadly D6 on a Qatar. Deadly D8 here on shears. Okay, I won't feel so bad. I want this weapon to not be anything good. Like, I don't want players picking this up and going, my god, what a weapon! I'm gonna put a rune on this sucker. Yeah. Fatal D8 would be kind of gross. Okay. Alright, I'm going to keep it on Deadly D8. Shout out to Deadly D8. You guys, Deadly D8, if for some reason you ever watched this stream, you guys were the ones that took my talisman idea. I was like, hey, shout out to you guys. Make a talisman video. And then you did. And I'm happy about that. Alright. Red Hot Branding Iron, Deadly D8. I want it to be on a crit. They take 1 persistent fire damage. I might just make that like a special ability. Blazing Poker. You know, no action. When Kirsch Refton critically hits with his red hot branding iron, the target takes an additional 1 point of persistent fire damage. Target catches on fire, taking an additional 1 point of persistent fire damage. Ta-da! Alright. Now, I haven't even touched any of his shoving stuff. Can I have do I have a press attack where he stabs the poker, knocks back with the shove? Shouldering in people. I like the idea of him kind of lowering his shoulder and knocking people around. Shoulder blow. Shoulder blow. 2 actions, automatically shoves. With 1 strike. Easy peasy. Nothing really special there. Okay. Kirsch Refton makes a fist strike against an adjacent opponent. Again, I always go back and I really want to change the wording. On a successful hit, the target is pushed back 5 feet or 10 feet on a critical hit. Boom. All right. So now what we've got, he's hitting people with the poker, and he can knock people in. So the player, think of this not as a boss fight, but as like a mini boss fight. The players are going to want to handle him appropriately. You're in a small room where he can knock you into an Iron Maiden, and also fighting him toe-to-toe is going to be a rough go of things for you. He's always got that hands-free to do athletics, combat maneuvers on you. And he's got the third action intimidation, which is not bad. Yeah, this is... I don't think I even need to add anything more here, actually. I think that's actually pretty okay right there. Fist, branding iron, that kind of fulfills... That fulfills the... that fills out what his stat block looked like back in 3.5. In a way. In like a weird translation. Okay. And if we need to add more stuff, I'll add more stuff. We've always got the ability to go back and fix things. Importantly, if anybody plays this conversion, let me know. And I am going to make, probably by the end of this week, I actually have a busy week. I don't know why I said that so confidently. I would like to make a PDF that I can just give out to people that are watching. Go home, play this, take a group through, and report back. Tell me how it worked. Because if I run this, I'm going to run in play-by-post, and that's going to take months. All right? And my report will be something like, yeah, that one fight took a really long time. You know, like a month when it took a table like a second or two. You know, like a few minutes. All right, so there's Kirsch. Done. So his role in the fight is to be a bully and smack people around. So I don't think he needs another bully-type character with him. Kirsch. Statted. Let's give him a basic thief. Oh, wait. Lotus Dragon Thieves are level -1. I want to give him a level 0. Well, maybe we'll give him a bruiser. Lotus Dragon Bruiser. Okay, that way they kind of play off of each other. I'm alright with that. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That does make us... Whoa, statted. Whatever. Makes for a moderate 2 encounter. Cool. Nice. Alrighty. On to room D8. Seeing this bed here, we can kind of guess what this is. It's Kirsch's room. Yep, Kirsch's room. I noted it because, well, we've got more gold. By the way, it is James Jacobs' fault that I very much confused several professors in college because I constantly used the word flens. I was like, yes, the flesh was flensed from the bone. And if you Google flens, or flensing, okay, well, at least back then, it was hard for people. Yeah, look, the removing of the blubber of of whales, typically from whales. But I would write. Oh boy, doesn't sound good if I was writing about flensing things. Anyway, the word was somewhat obscure, except James Jacobs kept using it. Silver flensing knives. Anyway, I was pulled aside at one point, and they're like, "You can't. You can't use made-up words." Like, Jabberwocky got away with it. Don't look at me. All right. I'm just going to say treasure. Later. We're going to do that much later. Much later. Oh, God. What am I doing this weekend? I would like to have the house to myself and just put this all into a PDF, get all the treasures sorted out, and get this out to people so they can play. Here we go. We've got 8 done. And that brings us right to D9. Fucktown, as I've called it. Population, oh goddamn. So if the players follow the thieves down the well, they arrive in this. How far do they fall down? The pool of water is 10 feet deep, already bad. Okay. So a small creature could shim up the pipe. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't say how far down you go. Oh my god, this whole conversion is going to be really rough. This D9. All right. So they land in the pool. Thieves in area D11 take 2 actions. First, they turn the valve to open the pipe to area D7, allowing the sea to begin flooding the area. Great. Second, they release the chain holding the crocodile at the end of the western passageway. Oh my god. The reptile roars in excitement and then rumbles in the corner of the central room to look for food. So, this room just holds a crocodile. However, players have more to deal with than a hungry crocodile. The 3 thieves in area D11 spread out once the trap is triggered. 1 fires, while 2 move to sniper points to the east and south in area D10. If the players are lured here by a thief, he instead warns the rest of the complex. This is an incredible encounter with so many moving parts that goes back to this box idea of 2nd edition. Okay? 2nd edition, your encounter is very self-contained. 3.5, things are happening all the time, and you've got a very, very dynamic world. Not bad, but nor is Pathfinder's design. These designs are not bad things. They work within their systems. So we have to think about how crazy this gets. When I said earlier, if you are going to have this expanding encounter, you have to think about the maximum size it can be before it gets to be too deadly. And we're already at that limit, like right away. Like before we could do anything, we're already hitting that limit. So here's what we're going to do. Crocodile. We looked this up before. Crocodile's level 2. Level 2. All right. Low. We've got sharpshooters. 3 sharpshooters. Whoops, wrong one. So party level 40. Oh, trivial. 3 sharpshooters. They are level 0. So there's 60 plus 40. We've got 100. We're like a moderate to a severe encounter. Given everything going on, make it a severe encounter. Okay? Let's see. So here's what we're doing. Just use crocodile. Okay. We've got D11 right there. D11 thieves are sharpshooters. Boy, we don't have to change their tactics. The good part about it is that they're not all 3 at once going to be firing at the players. They're going to be kind of surrounding them. That said, it's a heck of a... It's going to be a heck of a fight. 3 at once would just be taking a person down one at a time. I don't foresee players doing a great job if they go here first. Anyone who's fought a crocodile in Pathfinder, not in real life, if you fought one in real life, please tell me. That's awesome. They know they get really nasty. Look at this. 1d10 plus 4, death rolling with a plus 2 circumstance bonus. Oh my god. If Cowpal's in the chat, I did that to Staniel, I believe, one time. Gave him the old death roll, and Staniel was just like, oh, that's fine. I'm a fighter. I don't get hurt by things. Okay. So let's look at what we have to convert. First off, we have to convert how the heck the players get down here. Like, they land in the pool. I'm assuming it means to say, jumping down to the 10-foot pool, you don't take any damage. It doesn't say how deep the well is. I'm just gonna note here, how deep is the well from
Dead Dog Plaza.
What a name. What a name. Okay. I'll go back and look at that. I don't think they have it noted anywhere. All right, next. A small creature could shimmy up this pipe by making a series of escape artist checks. Obviously, we have acrobatics to squeeze now. Only to reach the far end to find it closed off by a metal... Wait. Oh, these are the pipes. Okay, sorry. So this pipe, you could climb up here. 3.5. So unnecessary. So much unnecessary information, but I do love it. I love that stuff. Okay. I noted this in the last one about squeezing. Pencas's Doom. No. Here we go. Here we go. It was here. No. Here we go. DC 30 to DC 25 acrobatics to squeeze. I'm keeping those same numbers. I'm not changing those. DC 25 acrobatics to squeeze instead of escape artist. Cool. All right. That's just to go up the water tunnel, up the water valve, up the water pipe to get to a metal valve that closes it off. Area valve open. It rises by a foot every 2 minutes, eventually reaching a height of about 8 feet from the cave roof, and flooding the entire cave to an equal depth. Okay, we don't have any mechanics for that, but we will have to talk about swim checks. So I'm just going to put vagueness. Mention swim athletics DCs. Oh, lordy lord. For the room flooding. So not only is the room flooding, there's also a pool of water that it starts with at 10 feet deep here. So the rest of this goes up 8 feet. And then this goes down 10 feet. So there's going to be some swimming shenanigans. This is, oh my god, this is a severe fight beyond belief. Bordering on extreme. All right. Both secret doors to the west are 5 feet off the ground. Huh, fun. Finding them takes a DC 20 search check. Yep, make that 18. DC 20 search becomes DC 18 perception. And DC 10 climb. Keep it DC 10. DC 10 athletics to climb. Okay? That's really fun to me. That's such a fun playing with the mechanics of like, oh, there's a secret door. Great, I go in it. Well, it's 5 feet off the ground. I climb up to it. Yeah, I know, but hey, the room's flooding, and there's a crocodile, and people are shooting at you with crossbows, so every second counts. Hope you have Rapid Mantle. It's Rapid Mantle Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Is that actually going to help? When you grab a ledge and you pull yourself... Yeah. Huh. Okay, you have to spend an action typically to spend. Okay, there we go. That's, I was like, why is this... Why is my brain... I feel like I've run that wrong. All right, illusory wall. Good. Illusory wall. No. Give me something. Let me just look up illusion. Okay. Just look up all illusion spells. There we go. Let me see. Can I get a wall anywhere here? House of Imaginary Walls. Object. We now have... you can make walls with like illusory terrain, phantasmal treasure, phantasmal killer, calamity, crowd, protagonist, project image. Haha, no. Oh my god. What do we got to do here? What do we got to do? How do we make this work? Illusory object, illusory scene. Boop. Boop. Invisibility curtain, invisibility sphere. Oh my god. All right. All right, let's look at a illusory object. Can we make a permanent stone wall? Because that's what it is. Yeah, heightened to 5th level. The duration increases. Yeah. Yeah, if they had the ability to get an illusory wall, yeah, turn that into a 5th level illusory object. There we go. Turn illusory wall into 5th level illusory object. Stone wall. Okay. Don't mind me. I realized I should be looking at my phone here more often. Ah, here we go. My wife is really still playing coy with the, like, is it a boy or a girl? Look at this. Whoa. There we go. Ooh. Do you really want to know? Yeah? Alright. Anyway. Illusory wall into 5th level illusory object. Stone wall. Easy peasy. 2 actions. Let's just use PF2 terminology for actions taken to flood room, release crocodile. By the way, are we picturing this scene correctly? Players drop down chasing after a thief. He books it out. He knows the way out. Okay? They have a turn to act because now suddenly they're thrown into initiative. You're looking around the table and you go, okay, guys, I need you to roll perception for initiative. And they're going like, oh boy, we're going to get this thief. Maybe they're readying their Ray of Frost, their crossbows to get him. And it's like, cool. Water starts to flood the room. And a crocodile gets into the water. Okay. And now, from seemingly nowhere, you're getting shot by sneak attacking arrows. Ooh. Nasty. And as combat continues, they have to either swim or run, and they're fighting this. I mean, for me, that is an incredibly exciting encounter. It's also a difficult one to run as a GM, and it's obviously a much more difficult situation to be in as a player. Yeah, I think it's really cool. So when my players did it, 3.5, 15 years ago, I do believe they figured out that the arrows were coming from behind the wall, and they ignored the crocodile, booked it for the wall, climbed up there, killed everybody inside, and they just went right through the rest of the dungeon from there. Which I'm trying to remember, because their pathway was very, very bizarre. They kind of wandered around the labyrinth. 100%, like they beelined it for the kitchens, whether they knew it or not. And I think they ignored... Oh, no. Oh, wow. I think they okay, 100%. My players did not engage with this. They didn't engage with any of this. They never met Kirsch. I mean, that's another thing. Pathfinder assumes that your players are going to go through every room in a dungeon. Really. Such was not the case in the older editions. It was sort of like, hey, welcome to this dungeon. You don't want to be here. Accomplish the goal and get out. That said, I mean, first edition, you gained experience through finding treasure, so it was sort of go through every nook and cranny, but another thing. Also, to note, this is fun. The thief runs off this way and goes through a secret door. The players, they might deal with all this as the place is flooding and not find these secret doors. Oh boy. What a very fun encounter. Man, I love it and I hate it. Just because that's a hell of a thing to run. Okay. Starting the first round of counter. Yep. Hey, start firing. Boom. Cool. Anything else? Alright. On round 3, the second thief joins from the arrow slits to the east, and on round 5, the one to the south joins as well. I would normally change these rounds but I think that's very appropriate. I think it could last for a while. Note the rushing sound of the water imparts a penalty to listen checks, making it difficult to... Interesting. All right, I'm going to just say update, because there's concealment there. Update concealment and perception checks to seek out the source of the crossbows, of the bolts. Ta-da! Cool. Done and done. That's D9. Delightful. All right. Ring of Ruin. All right, let's... Oh, boy. Done. Done for D9. We can come back to that. I will spend all my time probably rewriting that whole thing. We already talked about D11 in D9. These guys are getting replaced by sharpshooters. Yep. 3 sharpshooters. 3 Lotus Dragon sharpshooters. That makes that a... what is that? That's a moderate encounter, I believe. Building creatures, building encounters. Low encounter. Easy. It's a low 2. Obviously, we're not going to encounter... You likely aren't going to encounter just them. If your players do make it there, let's see. If your players can potentially, come in this way, go through, fight through Kirsch, and ambush them from behind, absolutely. Shoot, I gotta use the bathroom again. All right, I'll be right back. The end stream button always looks so conveniently close to the mute button. All right. Woo! We're making actually really, really good progress. I'm much better than I thought I was going to be doing today. To the point that, looking at my notes, I was like, well, I could probably convert the rest of this off stream just to save us some time and just get this out. But that's a lot of rooms. That's a lot of rooms. All right, 13. Yeah, we don't need to worry about the visitors' lounge. The visitors' quarters. Scrap paper. Oh, this is fun. This is actually really fun. People who search this room discover that Vanthus was trying to figure out the puzzle from part 3 that everybody else was trying to figure out. And he's like, I give up. This is bullshit. I'm just going to break the lock myself. It's just a quick update. Just I want to make a DC 15 perception to notice the puzzle attempts. I think that's hilarious to me. One, it should make the players feel smart. Hey, yeah, we did it. You fucking couldn't. It also puts you into the mind of Vanthus a little, where he is just, give me what I want. I will be impudent about it, and I will eventually, if I can't get what I want, I will break the rules to do so. You're gonna hate Vanthus. Yeah, Cruncher. Yeah, Cruncher is that elite warg. Cruncher is elite warg. Warg. Yep, easy. Okay, we can do this. What's next? Oh, I should be probably following along on the map here. I lost us. Oh no. Okay. D10, D11. Oh, gosh. I want to know where we are. 12, 13, visitors' quarters. All right. Also, funny, Vanthus was held up in the visitors' quarters here, which means they didn't really trust him in the Lotus Dragons quite yet. They're like, okay, you're coming in with money. What's the catch here? Why don't you stick around here? Then, yeah, we've got Cruncher's next guard post over here when it's on high alert, which seems to say that this place is much more deadly. Non-members. So everything past here is non-members of the guild. Okay? I believe. Yes, here's a meeting room. This is used to meet prospective allies. Currently empty. Boop. And on alert, they take the table. The GM cognitive overload. Oh, the guild's on alert, so that table's not there. That table does get used, I believe. Is it right here? Yeah, in the very next room. Okay, the table gets used right here. Where do they set it up? They set up the table, they use it as cover, and fire crossbows. Do I want to just... how many of them are here? 4. Okay. Now we have a fun design choice. Okay. All right. Where is our building? Oh, I've got so many tabs open. So many tabs. I don't need all these tabs. Okay. If we use these thieves, I still want to use some of the other thieves. 30 experience. We could make it a low encounter and just fill it with 4 thieves that fire their hand crossbows. I don't hate that. Because we've used a lot of sharpshooters already. I don't want to keep doing more and more sharpshooters. I like thieves. I'm actually just going to keep that. I said, we could do something fun. And then I immediately did not fun. First off, cover rules for the table. Introduce those. And not really big cover rules. Just that they're going to use the table for cover. Maybe some readied actions. And use Lotus Dragon Thieves. 4. This makes it a low to encounter. Let's use 4 Lotus Dragon Thieves. Makes it a low to encounter. Just, I think, very fine. Very, very fine. Admittedly, this room is kind of small to fit 4 guys in, firing at players from behind a table. I just think the players just hop the table, just kill them on the other side. But low, it's a low encounter, so it doesn't really matter. All right, I might need help from people here. Okay, I want to call on the encyclopedic knowledge of Pathfinder players. Help me out here. What we get now is the players. Let's say the players go back through Cruncher. They go through here. They fight the thieves here. But now they get to the place that I've already noted is not part of the Thieves Guild. Okay, this is non-members area. This is their smuggling port. This is where they're smuggling things out of. Smuggler's Pond. Okay. They have, yes, allied themselves with a tribe of manta ray monsters. Okay? Got a picture of them right here. They are manta ray monsters. Okay? They are manta rays with teeth. This is the picture I always remember from 3.5 days. Do we have anything like that in Pathfinder? Intelligent. Every AP likes to throw reef claws. Let's look at reef claws. Reef claw. Well, we're at level 1 with them. I'm already liking that. Aquatic monsters resemble huge shrimp or lobsters. Yes. Okay. So one of the things... Wow, that is terrifying. That is nightmarish. Well, let's see. One of the kickers, because they are a tribe, intelligent and cruel aquatic monsters that look similar to rays. All right. So they work. They can think and somewhat I gotta look up the stats for these things. What is? Wait, whoa. Pathfinder comes up. Hold on. I'm curious. Not smart, but yeah. No. This is. I don't think there's any. No. Okay. Let's look at their stats for 3.5. So I can kind of get a feel for what we want to get them at. Vampiric. Why I don't want Vampiric. Why is the first one up Vampiric? Or maybe that's just what they are called. Stats. Oh, do I have the stats here? Yes, I do. Oh, thank goodness. Look at them. They have class levels. I mean, these things aren't like super intelligent, but they have class levels in 3.5. Using, by the way, I don't know if this was a class that was considered powerful. I think it was considered garbage. The scout class, it was like a rogue, except you had to... Okay, yeah, now that I say it out loud, it was garbage. It was a rogue that as long as you move, you do sneak attack damage. But in 3.5, the whole goal was to not move. It was to stand still and full attack things. So it was just awful. We might, because these have some lore implications. Oh, I'm sinking. Yeah, Blindheim. I might just remake them. Here's my reasoning for remaking them. One, besides that they are creatures that exist and are like potentially a part of lore for Greyhawk. We can get rid of this whole scout business and instead give them the ability that like they do these kind of like swim by attacks. And we can keep them, you know. Oh, I'm like getting I'm midway through explaining it and I'm getting tired. I'm like, oh, we could do this, and I want to. I actually do want to do that. There is some like weird part of me that's like, and then I can make a whole ancestry based off it, and I was like, no, that's very 3.5 thinking. All right. Let me make sure I have Crush saved, yeah. What? This is so stupid of me to do this. Oh, I feel like I've taken a lot of shortcuts, which is okay, which is good, especially when you're converting, you want to not go overboard. Yeah, make your monster, yeah. You make one monster, and then if you start going like, I can make anything, I am the god of this world. I did make an ancestry. I was so proud of it, and I was so happy. And then Mark Safer announced that he made the Gremlin ancestry, and I took everything I did, and it's kind of digitally crumpled it up, threw it away. I was like, "Wow, come on, man! I worked so hard on that." Level 0. If I put 6 things in, 120 severe encounter. Level -1, 90 moderate encounter. I like level -1. I like level -1. 1, I don't get a lot of you don't get a lot of level -1 aquatic creatures. This is an aberration, and I like that. Small-sized aberration. This feels okay. They are chaotic evil. They're awful. They're aquatic. Anything else I want to add to this? Yeah. All right. Base road maps. Skirmisher. I've used Skirmisher so often. I'm starting to feel bad about it. Let's give them some dark vision. And they speak Aquan. This is okay. So this is why everyone with some intelligence speaks Aquan in the Lotus Dragons. So they can communicate with this tribe of Ikachachal. I looked up the pronunciation. I don't want to pronounce it. Ikachachal. Let's try it again. All right. Ixixachit. Oh my god. Ixixachito. Now, if you're wondering where this comes from, by the way, I looked up a dragon magazine, and yes, they have pronunciations for all of the monsters in one of the early dragon magazines, including, and I found the Hukuva there. I was like, oh hey, look at that. All right. How often do I say like, by the way? When you start recording yourself talking, you realize all of your weird verbal tics, and it gets under your skin. All right. Yeah. Oh, here's it go. Yeah. Zit-shittle. All right. It's a thing. Sucks. We're going to make it. And they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Generally, they're here to kind of add a little bit of texture to the game. High dexterity. Low strength. I'm okay with all this. Wisdom, charisma. No. Let's look at the base stats. Wisdom, I'm okay. Dexterity, crazy high. Strength, okay. Alright. Here's what we do. Bump that. Let's give that crazy high. Let's give that some fine strength. Let's give it a lower wisdom. Whoa, too low. There, those feel good. Alright. And what I want to do is I want to give it a 2-action swimming by. What are their attacks? Natural attacks. Bite plus. This is the vampiric one. This is what is this font? What is this website that I found here? Whoa. This is a Forgotten Realms that should remain forgotten. Ha ha ha! I'm so funny. All right, funny man. All right, what is the D&D wiki? 5th edition say they've got dark vision, bite attack. Nothing. Wow, really? Look at the 5th edition. Guys, play whatever game you want. 5th edition looks fine. I think I would enjoy playing a 5th edition game, but as somebody who has played Pathfinder for the past 3 years, 4 years, 3 years. I look at this and I get so sad. Oh, what's this thing do? It swims and it bites you. Ready for that one? So we're going to give it a bite. Let's give it a little something else. Jeez Louise. It bites you. I'll give it a bite. Yeah, I see. The big thing for me, easier to GM. And oh god, for GMing is so much fun. I had one of my players, Popjuke, who was in here the other stream, stop by and he's like, yeah, my first introduction to role-playing games was Pathfinder 2nd Edition. He went back to America to visit friends, and they said, hey, why don't you join us for a one-shot D&D 5e game? They started at level 3, which already was baffling to him. And he played a warlock, and he's messaging. He's like, I think I'm going to play a warlock because Pathfinder doesn't have that class. And I said, I feel like I don't know much, but I feel like that's a very repetitive class. You got to be careful. And he's like, yeah, I said warlock, and they just had a character sheet ready for me. I was like, well, I'm sure they're just kind of making things easier for you. He's like, well, I took a look, and I really couldn't choose much, and I don't know. He was very soured on the game, and I'm not sure if it's because of the GM or not. I don't want to be that guy that's like, Pathfinder is way better than D&D 5e. It's just the game I prefer. And I know that my friend did not have a good time. So I don't know. All right. Aquan. Sorry, getting distracted. We're giving them a bite, and I'm going to give them the ability to swim by and bite. Really? So this is Sola's first. This is your hold on. This blows my mind because Sola has been and Nex can back me up on this. One of my favorite players. Yes, Nex is like. No offense to anybody else from the stream. One of my favorite players to play with is Sola Virtus. It is astounding to me that Tui is your first game. That's insane to me. You are such a natural at this. I love it. Whoa. If anybody's like watching the stream like days later, please come join us for games. Please play Pathfinder. It's so much fun. I'm gonna swim by attack. I'm gonna call it something lame. Swim by attack. And he's just gonna swim double. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so funny. I was talking to Nex about something, and it was just like, oh, do we want to get Sola in a game? And it's like, yeah, Sola's in a lot of games, but yes, we want to get them in another game. Please, more games. Tomb, Sola, always welcome in games. Slozar also gets my seal of approval for whatever game he wants to be in. Gets in. Love him. I'm so happy with the server. It was much like this stream. It was just a dumb, goofy idea that I had one day. Yes, and today I am updating Strength of Thousands. I promise. I say I promise, but also I'm going to take a little break after the stream so I can eat food and unwind. Jaws bite. Yeah. I love Strength of Thousands game is so fun. Oh my god, Dragon's Demand. I love that game. Yeah, when I played that in Korea, my group of players, it was their first time playing any role-playing game, and they did it in first edition. And the first thing they did was immediately attempt to break the game, and they did a great job of it, including a player saying, "Man, the druid sucks. When you summon a creature at level 1, it only lasts for 1 round." And another player going, "No, wait, that's the best ability." So they got a suit of, they got a harness, and they filled it with alchemist fire. And then they summoned a horse, quickly put the harness on it, just draped it on its back, slapped it, and had it run right over to the sheriff in town, where it then dematerialized and all the alchemist fire exploded over the sheriff. Because they hated the sheriff, and their plan was if the sheriff died, they'd get to run the town. Our Dragon's Demand game went so wildly off track, including the ranger was hired to go find a missing girl. So instead what he did was he walked into the forest for a day, hung out there for a while, came back and said, the girl's probably dead. I'll accept the money as payment now for discovering it. I'll even take half payment. God, Dragon's Demand. I have such good memories, and none of them have to do with the module. It was such a good game, and it's such a well-written game. All right. These things. Senses, dark vision. Got to give it dark vision. You guys talk about yourselves. I'm gonna fill this out real quick because it's just a low-level creature. It doesn't need much, and giving it the swim by attack is what I'm calling it. Oh my god, now I have to spell it. Do I call it strides when they're swimming? Swims up to, twice its speed and makes a bite attack on any target it passes along the way. And I feel like I'll look at other monsters to see how that should be formatted or written. Just because I like this as there's swarming and biting and that's fun. I like that. Okay. And we don't have to make them too powerful. Higher speed than you, yes. Let's keep it 30 feet. Swim. 30 feet. 30 feet. Neat. Yeah, not that Sola's not in enough games, but if you do manage to get into Dragon's Demand, it is a really good game. We need more GMs because we have so many players, and we have Marzul and Moon and myself and Nex. Those are the big GMs. Cal's running a few too, actually. And I said I'm going to do a bigger drive for people. Yes. And is Vierber Schnitzel is still in here because they're also one of our newer players who's fantastic. They picked up GMing with Forgot the name. Very embarrassing, but they've been great. Yeah, inch closer to the run. Now, I will say, I don't want to pressure anybody to be at GM. We had a few like long-time play-by-post members that got really excited, and I was like, "Oh, we need more GMs." And I was like, "Yes, we'll GM," and they set up games, and they died immediately. So like, and if it's not something you're into, meh. Dejapes or Dejapis or Dehapis. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That's, oh my god, Bloodlords. So cool. All right. Biting. Sorry. Distracting myself. 1d4 plus 1. Boom. Moderate. Am I thinking of this right? Yeah, that's fine. Solas to do it solo. Yeah. There's the there's the necks on your shoulder. Just do it. Do it. Let's make this finesse. There I feel better about this. And if it is finesse, I can not feel bad about bumping that up. There. Yeah, because that's very weak on its own. Oh, really? So Elias or Lewis, I've been calling it Elias in my mind, has been Elias and the Jacob Gregor story, which next I could tell you all about sometime. It's been very fascinating for me, and I've been slow rolling the Dark Archive game. What am I doing? Right, monsters, because we've got this -1. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. They don't have to do anything special. I'm okay with this as monsters. Putting 6 of them in. All right. Done. I probably could have done that a lot faster. I got so enamored with talking. All right. All right. I didn't even know that the one who knocks had stopped in the stream. I just saw the Discord. All right. Boom. All right, D17 in the bag. Do I need to use anything else here? By the way, here's our artwork of these creatures. This very dark artwork of these creatures attacking the players. Do we need anything else here? Search. When you arrive here, okay. More DCs. Okay. DC 18 secret door. Use new stats for good enough. I will remember what that means. And we're on to D18. Please don't be using more of these. Yeah, it's just using more of these. All right. Well, this is interesting. We have the sea urchins here, which we've already covered are poisonous. Right over here. But we don't reference actually them being poisonous, just the fact that we're using the poison. Which I might want to go back to taking a look at that. Alright. So 2 level -1 creatures is going to be like a beyond trivial threat. For, not building creatures, building a counter. What? How did I? All right. I keep losing my tabs. Yeah. It's a trivial encounter if I put in 2. I might just change that. Okay. Look at changing number of ray monsters. Currently trivial 2. And maybe make a sea urchin hazard here. Urching. Seerg. What? How did my fingers add these extra things here? Alright. D19. What do we got? D19. Here we go. Ooh. Nice secret spot. This feels like treasure. Is it hidden away? No. Well, there is treasure. Alright. More of these Celefugids. Okay. Yep, this is where the solifugids are kept, and there is treasure. Cool. Solifugid. I don't want to get rid of that now. Giant solifugid. Boom. All right, if we have 3 level 1s against this level 2 group, how bad is that? 90. A moderate encounter. I'm going to take that. That's a good one. I don't have to change anything. Love it. All right. Replace Ragodessa with Giant Solifugid. Whoa. Ragodessa. Giant Solifugid makes moderate. Ooh, nice. And then more treasure. Woohoo. Treasure. All right, we've got another 20 minutes of the stream. Then I'm going to eat this really gross butter chicken. But hey, I've only got a few more of these to go. Could potentially finish this out, if not today, over the course of the week. And then we can start Adventure 2 next week. Yeah. Adventure 2 being Bullywug-centric, sort of. Yeah. We get out of the city in that one. All right. So I just realized, Solus just started with Pathfinder. Their first introduction is Pathfinder 2e. So all of this is like
Bizarro Land.
Because you're not just going through one edition, you're going through 3. You're going from 3rd to 3.5 to well, you're not really doing 3rd, but 3.5 to 4th to Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2nd edition. So you can see the weird history that we get here. My goodness. All right, mess hall. Oh, what's next on the list? All right. 100%. Yes. All right. Mess hall. Oh, we're getting into what I love. I will get story time. All right. Mess hall is here. 20 players. The group shows up. I'm sorry. I forgot. There's a bunch of tropical birds that they have in here. I love those little touches that make this place come to life. All right. The kitchen. Are we getting to the story? All right. We have to make a hazard. I don't want to make the hazard this late into the run into the conversion process. So I'm just going to put fireplace. God. If the guild is on alert, Turtle has rigged the boiling cauldron of poison with a length of iron bent back to her hiding spot, and she flings the catapult. That is awesome. I love Turtle. Turtle is, if I say the name Turtle to my players from 15 years ago, they will 100% be like, oh my god, let me tell you about Turtle. Because that's what I'm going to spend the last bit of the stream talking about. I'm just going to remake Hazard. Because I will get into... Alright. All this stuff, whatever. I'm going to probably handle the rest of the conversion myself over the course of the week and put everything up later. So, Turtle. Okay, she lives right down here. This is her, I call this the Turtle Zone. She's the cook for the Lotus Dragons. She's also, very importantly, a kobold. Okay? 3.5. There has been a mentality shift. Pathfinder kobolds are the cute, adorable, sometimes rapscallion sort of like kobolds. First, second, third edition, they're evil, they're low levels, they're more akin to yapping, annoying dogs than, having an interesting backstory or anything to them beyond cringing, pathetic creatures. So James Jacobs gives us one of the first sympathetic kobolds. Here we go. A female kobold named Turtle, lawful evil, female kobold, expert 4. She has 2 skills listed, and these are the most important skills. Craft, poison making, because she works for the thieves. And profession, cook. Can you see how this is the funniest thing in the world to me? What are your skills? Oh, I'm really good at cooking and also making poison. I'm hoping these 2 skills never intersect. They've intersected all the time. It's noted here, her cooking and poison making skills are considerable, and she only rarely confuses the 2. So if I'm converting this, I'm going to give her like a little, hey, here's a little book of poisons, and what's the official term for it? Like alchemist book. formula guide or crafter's handbook, something like that. Fill it with some poisons, hey, whatever. Now, my players barged in this room. She is a non-combatant. She is an expert, okay? That's no combat stats. Even at level 4, she's not going to fight anybody. She's close to ineffectual in combat, and if confronted, yelps in terror and tries to tumble past the players to escape to the north, okay? My players came in. She tries to escape. She breaks down into tears, begging for her life, offering them money, okay? Now, my player was one of the biggest, toughest dudes at the school. I played this in college, so he was someone from my high school that I played with. Big, tough guy. He showed up to my game, and he's like, yeah, my character's going to be fucking Legolas. He's an elf Legolas. His name is going to be Legolas. It's just elf archer. I was like, all right, so I made him an Elven Ranger, and all right, archery style, you're Legolas. No, I'm Legolas. He was not, like, engaging with the story at all. He's like, I don't give a fuck about thieves. I'll just kill them. What are we doing down here? Vanthus? I'll kill Vanthus. I don't give a fuck about Vanthus. Didn't care about the game. And then they meet Churtle. I'll admit, I still remember the voice it did for Churtle, and it might be embarrassing. But here we go. But she was like, oh no, please, I don't want to fight. No fighting. Churtle's friend, the kobold friend for you. I'll give you soup. Soup for you, please. You don't hurt me. Hurt poor Churtle. So they make friends with Churtle. Yeah, and this guy, no engagement in the game, was not interested in Churtle. But I was like, I'm going to have fun with it. And she was like, hey, Mr. Pointy Ears, maybe I make you soup. You enjoy the soup. You enjoy soup. It's good for you. And he's like, my name is Legolas. I'm going to take the ring to Mount Doom. I'm like, what are you talking? Whatever. And he was like, yeah, whatever, Churtle. I don't like you. She's like, no, it's okay. You don't have to like Churtle, Mr. Pointy Ears. Look, I give you poison. You put on arrow. You like arrow with poison. Yes, yeah, you like Churtle. And he starts, like, hanging out with her. He's like, oh, thanks for the poison. Thanks for the soup. And he hilariously gets poisoned in the encounter because she gives him poison soup. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that to you. I mix up poison and soup all the time. And soon he's like, she's sitting on his shoulder, and he's like, if I gave Churtle a crossbow, I'm like, yep, absolutely. And she's firing. They get through the game pretty decently. I think it was like book 3 or adventure 3 or something like that. Churtle does not have the stats to survive combat, but they kept bringing her into combat. And it wasn't long before she is killed. I forget why, but she gets killed. And I want to say, this grown man who had no engagement with the game, could not care less, was playing Legolas, didn't care who any of this was, looked at me and he's like, stop. No, man. What do you mean she's dead? I'm like, she died, man. And he started crying. And he's like, no, man, fucking, that's Churtle. You can't kill Churtle. I'm like, yeah, dude, Churtle's dead. And he's like looking around the table, and he's like, dude, we got to bring back. He's like, we got to bring back Churtle. How do we bring people back? And the cleric was, again, he was a rogue cleric, so he was already multi-classing. He's like, I can't do that for like a lot of levels. He's like, how much money do we need to bring back Churtle? What do we need? And they're like, well, we need diamonds. We need this and that. And he's like, we don't have this stuff. We can't do this. And he's like, hold on, fuck this shit. And he leaves. And he comes back and he's smoking. He's got a bottle of, I think it was Jack. He's like, I can't do this, man. Like, I can't. He's like, I love this shit. I love Churtle. Fuck, man. All right, I'm in. Well, what do we do? And, like, then I had to sit down and, like, okay, here's how we're going to get the stuff to resurrect Churtle. And it became, like, a mini side adventure. And the thing is, and this is a bit tragic, I think when they finished this side quest to bring back the kobold, who I still never gave any. I think I gave her like a level in Rogue. She was still like way behind the players. The player brought her back, and he was just like, "All right, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. Like, thank you." And I was like, "That it?" He's like, "Yeah, Legolas and Turtle go off. You know, that's it. We're gonna go throw the ring in Mount Doom." I was like, again, not the story, but by all means, go ahead. I do wonder what happened to that guy, because I know that. Well, the thing is, he was hooked, but he was not at all going to be like a lifetime role player for sure. I know he was involved in some shit that got real shady. He definitely appeared in the news a few times, and I'm like, oh no. Oh God, he made the news, and it's not for a good thing. My town had some murders. I don't want to get too much into that. I've even forgotten his name, but I think he was involved in a minor house robbery that went wrong, and I think he did some time. So I only think if maybe he just learned the lessons of Churtle and was cool about stuff. He did some light treason. Yeah. There was a story there was something that happened in my town. Essentially, there was a break-in. They knocked on. They essentially went to the wrong house to take something, and a guy got shot in the process. And I think that he was involved. I think he was driving. So I will always kind of have that in my mind of like he was the guy that cried over. He was the guy that cried over a kobold dying in D&D, and he's not the person that, you know, he eventually became. And I don't know who he is now or where he is now, but I do hope he's doing well. And I hope he remembers the story of Churtle, like it, you know, hopefully in a very positive way. Damn, he loved her. He loved her. All right, that is a weird story to end on, and I've got a lot of weird stories. It's a weird story for me to end on, but I'm getting hungry. I'm going to eat some food, and I'm going to veg out for like a little bit, and then I'm going to find out if I've got a boy or a girl. I'll let everybody in the Discord know today. Be like, hey, having a this. Probably a girl. I'm betting a girl. That's my money. All right, and then for everybody else who's following the conversion stuff, I'm going to try and sit down with the rest of this. This is not that bad. This is bad. This is going to be a lot of cleanup for me. I'm going to put it over in the big dock. The big giant dock. Oh my God. We'll see. If I get that done, I'll turn the Thursday stream into a cleanup stream. And what I'd like to do then is convert Sasserine. I just realized I said those words and then I was like, wait a minute, I don't think you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's just pull that up real fast since I still have some time here. So, is this it? Is this what I want? Is this Savage Tiding? Yes. I mean, this is not going to match up really well. No, it's not. So, no, that's not what I want. Wrong thing. Sorry. It is going to be Sasserine. It gets another little call out here in a special section. Does it go right in the book too? It's going to frustrate me if it does. Come on now. Yes, here we go. So I'm going to read over this, convert some of this. I want to make a mini player's guide so that people can make characters and play through the first adventure if at all possible. That's the goal for getting done before June. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. It might take another 2 streams. I might need more free time. I don't know. Anyway, so having fun with this, and I'm looking forward to doing some more on Thursday. All right, thank you guys for coming and for Play by Post guys. I will see you hopefully later today or tomorrow for your time. Later today for me. I gotta eat, and I will talk to you all later. All right, bye bye.